My name Lil Sody. All the neighbors know me. CT World. I rap. I'm a member. I'm not a banger, because bangers and members are two different things, if you know. We're at St. Andrews Park in Los Angeles, California. And, you know, I'm still in my 20s, man. Keep it at that. I'm still in my 20s, man. I'm still going. The older I get, it's the better. I don't get older, I get better. Okay, streetgang.com. This is my hood. We talking gang shit. Basically, a banger is a person that goes out there and really puts it down for the set. I'm talking about the whole all in streetgang.com. This is my hood. We talking gang shit. Basically, a banger is a person that goes out there and really puts it down for the set. I'm talking about the whole all ins and outs. Robberies, stealing, killing, shootings, all of that. Shit that'll get you put away for a long time. Shit you take chances for is being put on this gang, you know what I'm saying? It all comes with it. So as far as me, Ben did all of that. I'm a member. My big homies gave me the right to become a member. They not pushing me to be out here in the streets acting a fool, acting an ass, acting up. You know what I'm saying? I chose something different, something better, something that I like, which is music. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm still a part of this neighborhood, so that makes me a member. I don't gotta bang to be a part of this member, go and kill and rob people, no. I'm still a member because I was born and raised right here. That's a member. A member is a person that's gonna always represent where he came from. He ain't gotta be out there with the bullshit. He can use it in a positive way now. You know what I'm saying? Give it back to his community and things like that. That's a member. Let's roll out, TJ. What's up, bro? This where I be at. This where I play my ball at. This my home. This my gym right here. And these are the people I love to be around. I ball up here with these guys. Stay positive. They go to school and things like that, man. Oh, what's up, fool? You up here balling? I'm grown now. I'm a man before I'm a crip. Know that. That go for everybody, homie. You a man before you a crip. You a man before you a blood. Remember that. The respect come from you being a man. Not as far as the gang shit and all of that. You get that within your neighborhood, but as far as you getting respect from the world and the people around you in the community, you're a man. You want your respect as a man, not no gang member. So I took it upon myself to go holler at Big Face Hunted. Shouts out to Big Face Hunted and 100 ENT. His whole movement, man. Shouts out to Face. I love Face. You know what I'm saying? Nothing changed just because I'm with Jeezy now. Ain't nothing changed, Face. Face know that. Me and Face was the first ones that put the blood and crip thing, like, in a positive way. On the new level shit, though. You know what I'm saying? To where niggas don't think that a blood... Hey! Hey! See, I got fans. My community love me, man. You know what I'm saying? But, like I was saying... me and Face put this project together, Best of Both Rags. He let me run the project because I came up with the ideal. He came up with some of the tracks and helped me put some of the lyrics together on the tracks. He made it sound real good. Shouts out to Bosco. That's another homie, you know what I'm saying? Whatever he got going on in the music industry, I hope him much success. You know what I'm saying? He's 100 ENT. Excuse the airplane. We good? And, you know, that's how I really put the blood and crip thing together. Me and Face. Me and Big Face Hunter.
Now, one of your songs, I believe it was Talk Shit.
Oh, yeah, Streets Talking.
You made a comment about Nipsey Hussle. You said, back up, I'm not Nipsey, and the arm across the neck thing. Talk about a little bit about that. A lot of people want to know.
It's like this, man. It's a street thing, man. It ain't no music thing with me and Nipsey, man. We enemies, you know? We real enemies. And it goes back in history before my time. Rolling 60s, A-Trey Gangster. So it was like, I hit him with the hardening paint, and then he came and low-key dissed my hood. So when my heart in the paint just boom and go skyrocket high, I say, okay, I got a big fan base now. Let me go over here and do real music. So, okay, I did that song, Streets Talking, talk shit, because I'm not him. I'm a different Crip. He a different Crip. His homies don't respect him. My homies respect me and love me over here. That's why I said that.
Now, you collaborated with a lot of people on that album, Best of Both Rags. What's the chance of ever collaborating with someone from 6-0 on a song?
It'll happen. Money talk. Bullshit walk. I got money talk on my face. It's tatted there. You know what I mean? I gotta feed my kids. This gang shit don't mean nothing really to me no more. It's not. It's only, and I say really because, like I said, I'm a member. I have to be around. It's my neighborhood. I grew up over here. My family is from here. But yeah, it can happen, man. It can happen, man. The rumor was around. Big U was hollering at some of my older homies. My uncle Monster Pookie, he bodyguard with Dub C. I fucks with Dub C and Crazy Tunes. They from neighborhood, you feel me? They're my big cousins, and they fuck with me heavy. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it can happen, man. A gangster and a hustler. StreetGang.com. This is my hood. We talking gang shit. Basically, a banger is a person that goes out there and really puts it down for the set. I'm talking about the whole all ins and outs. Robberies, stealing, killing, shootings, all of that. Shit that'll get you put away for a long time. Shit you take chances for is being put on this gang, you know what I'm saying? It all comes with it. So as far as me, Ben did all of that. I'm a member. My big homies gave me the right to become a member. They not pushing me to be out here in the streets acting a fool, acting an ass, acting up. You know what I'm saying? I chose something different, something better, something that I like, which is music. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm still a part of this neighborhood, so that makes me a member. I don't gotta bang to be a part of this member, go and kill and rob people, no. I'm still a member because I was born and raised right here. That's a member. A member is a person that's gonna always represent where he came from. He ain't gotta be out there with the bullshit. He can use it in a positive way now. You know what I'm saying? Give it back to his community and things like that. That's a member. I'll be at. This where I play my ball at. This my home. This my gym right here. And these are the people I love to be around. I ball up here with these guys. Stay positive. They go to school and things like that, man. Oh, what's up, fool? You up here balling? I'm grown now. I'm a man before I'm a Crip. Know that. That go for everybody, homie. You a man before you a Crip. You a man before you a blood. Remember that. The respect comes from you being a man, not as far as the gang shit and all of that. You get that within your neighborhood, but as far as you getting respect from the world and the people around you in the community, you're a man. You want your respect as a man, not no gang member. So I took it upon myself to go holler at Big Face Hunted. Shouts out to Big Face Hunted and 100 ENT. His whole movement, man. Shouts out to Face. I love Face. You know what I'm saying? Nothing changed just because I'm with Jeezy now. Ain't nothing changed, Face. Face know that. Me and Face was the first ones that put the blood and Crip thing, like, in a positive way. On the new level shit, though. You know what I'm saying? To where niggas don't think that a blood... Hey! Hey! See, I got fans. My community love me, man. You know what I'm saying? But, like I was saying... Me and Face put this project together, Best of Both Rags. He let me run the project because I came up with the ideal. He came up with some of the tracks and helped me put some of the lyrics together on the tracks. He made it sound real good. Shouts out to Bosco. That's another homie, you know what I'm saying? Whatever he got going on in the music industry, I hope him much success. You know what I'm saying? He's 100 ENT. Excuse the airplane. We good? And, you know, that's how I really put the blood and Crip thing together. Me and Face. Me and Big Face Hunter.
Now, one of your songs, I believe it was Talk Shit.
Oh, yeah. Streets Talking.
You made a comment about Nipsey Hussle. You said, back up, I'm not Nipsey. And the arm across the neck thing. Talk about a little bit about that. A lot of people want to know.
It's like this, man. It's a street thing, man. It ain't no music thing with me and Nipsey, man. We enemies, you know? We real enemies. And it goes back in history before my time. Rolling 60s, A-Trey Gangster. So it was like, I hit him with the Hard in the Paint, and then he came and low-key dissed my hood. So when my Hard in the Paint just boom and go skyrocket high, I said, okay, I got a big fan base now. Let me go over here and do real music. So, okay, I did that song, Streets Talking, talk shit, because I'm not him. I'm a different Crip. He a different Crip. His homies don't respect him. My homies respect me and love me over here. That's why I said that.
Now, you collaborated with a lot of people on that album, Best of Both Rags. What's the chance of ever collaborating with someone from 6-0 on a song?
It'll happen. Money talk. Bullshit walk. I got money talk on my face. It's tatted there. You know what I mean? I gotta feed my kids. This gang shit don't mean nothing really to me no more. It's not. It's only, and I say really because, like I said, I'm a member. I have to be around. It's my neighborhood. I grew up over here. My family is from here. But yeah, it can happen, man. It can happen, man. The rumor was around. Big U was hollering at some of my older homies. My uncle Monster Pookie, he bodyguard with Dub C. I fucks with Dub C and Crazy Tunes. They from neighborhood, you feel me? Them my big cousins, and they fuck with me heavy. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it can happen, man. A gangster and a hustler.
You know, it ain't really a good day to talk, but you know, it all started right here, man. And my man right here, me and Big U, got a CD and put it in the car, listened to the songs, the Slauson Boys. And the rest was history. When I took Nipsey around this whole industry, everybody was telling me I was crazy. He looked like SnoopDog, Rolling 60 Crib, Big U, and I told everybody, I don't give a fuck what you feel. I go with my gut. I believed in him from day one. It's 15 years ago now. Everybody, you know, on it after the man worked his ass off. I was just with him yesterday at the Texas Tech game, man. Went to the game together yesterday. That's like my bro. And, you know, people over there saying, you know, the white man killed him. I'm a white man. The white man put him in the game, so I don't understand that. You know, like, it's not a color thing. It's not a race, religion. I started the game with Run DMC. My man Jam Master Jay got shot in his own studio in his own hood by somebody that he probably knew. Nip gets killed in his own store, in his own hood, trying to help his own hood, in his own community. Shit is fucking whack, it's fucked up. I'm a seasoned veteran in the music industry a long time. And I started with Nip 15 years ago with Big U and my man Sean, and no one believed. It took 15 years to do this, man, and now someone takes his life. He's a father, man, he's a brother, he's a son, man. It's fucked up. God bless Nip, I love you, man. Rest in peace.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you.
Nipsey Hussle, the accomplice, we believe the female, only reason why she was let go because she said she didn't know, had no idea that Eric Holder was going to shoot and kill Nipsey Hussle. We believe she's lying through her teeth. That woman is lying through her teeth. She's a getaway driver in the murder of Nipsey Hussle. The only reason why she turned herself in 2 days later, because her face and his face was plastered all over social media. So she wasn't someone who came in willingly. The community caught her. The police didn't catch him or her. They caught both of them by cooperating with police officers and also making sure their face was shown all through social media. So if she truly did not have anything to do with it, then why come she did not come forward immediately? That's the question that needs to be asked. Why come the police let this lady go when she drove the getaway car? So we believe if she is also has a role to play in Nipsey Hussle's murder, and she must be held accountable and brought to justice. We also believe at the end of the day, if two black people had shot and killed Justin Timberlake or Justin Bieber, both of them would be in jail right now. So we don't want partial justice. We want white people's justice.
Ermias was legacy. I feel as though You know, when we had our closure conversations, my mother and I are very intuitive. We have a knowing of the coming and the going of death. And so we knew that death was coming to our family. My mother and I, we discussed it many times. So many times that we discussed it in the presence of Khalil. And my mother said that she had been praying that God would take her because she was the last of 9 siblings. Her 4 brothers and her 4 sisters had predeceased her. My father is gone. My brother is gone. My mom said just about all her neighbors have passed on. So she said when she talks to God, she tells him, I've lived a good life. I'm not afraid of death. So whenever you're ready to take me, I'm ready to go. My mother was that was her message. She's a junior pack rat, and I'm a senior. She's a senior pack rat, and I'm a junior pack rat. She's collected so much stuff in her house at her bedroom, you stub your toe just trying to walk from the door to her bed. So she said she's not going to sleep in her bedroom because the paramedics would have too hard of a time getting to her there. So Nana has actually been sleeping on the day bed in her dining room because she thought God was going to answer her prayer and take her first. But that was not God's divine perfect order, you see. He took Ermias. I think of Ermias, and I think that Ermias knew, and we knew too. We knew too. Ermias, he was the kind of person that he was very busy and, you know, had a lot of things going on. And I would text him, and he wouldn't answer all of my texts. And I would call him, and he wouldn't answer all of my calls. But all of a sudden, Ermias started texting me, hey, Mom, I love you. I'm just sending you some positive energy for your day. I hope that you have a beautiful day. I felt spiritually in my soul as if Ermias was going to leave. And we had closure conversations through text messaging with one another. And I think that Ermias knew too, because Ermias was doing things differently. My mother said that Ermias was going to her house with Imani every morning on the way to drop Imani off at school. And he was bringing Imani a drink. He was bringing my mother a green drink. And he would tell my mom, I love you, Granny. And he would give her a kiss, and he would tell her, if there's anything you need, let me know. And I just told Ermias, I said, Ermias, let me know. Now this was a Saturday before he passed. I said, Ermias, let me know if you need me to pull up on you with some good, nutritious food. And then I wrote salad, and I had the little salad emoji, because he tells me I should open up a salad restaurant. I could kill the game. He loved my salads. And then I just told him my heart. In my phone, Samuel's telephone number saved under heart. And I said, my heart feels as if there's possibly heaviness in your heart and soul. And in my phone, Ermias' contact is listed under soul. And Ermias says, no, Mom, I'm A1. That's what he would always tell me. No matter what was happening, he always told me, no, Mom, I'm A1, because he didn't want me to worry. Ermias was very stoic. Ever since a boy, pain did not faze him. He took it like a champ, you know? And he says, I'm grateful. I have a studio again. I'm just happy and ready to work. I'm very proud of my son. My son, Ermias Joseph Askedom, was a great man. On the past Christmas, I drove Ermias to an address on 6th Avenue on the other side of Southwest Drive, just a short distance from my mother's home, to drop him off and pick up some ATV-type vehicles. Ermias was so happy and he felt so free riding those vehicles up and down 5th Avenue. And he told me, "Mom, this feels so great. I wish that I would have done this sooner." All of the cares of the world were lifted off of him for that moment in time. And his spirit was free, like a little child's spirit, right? Ermias liked thrilling rides at amusement parks. And so I'm not really sad because Spirit had already prepared me for that which was coming. I wish that Shell gas station would release the videotape of my interaction with the police officer when I went to the shop and he told me that the person who had been shot was Nipsey Hussle. I was in complete composure and total peace. See, because I had been walking to my spiritual drumbeat that whole weekend. I made my green drink, I made my vegan meal, I made my herbal tea. And I even sat down with my feet up on the chair across from me, and I was talking to my cousin on the telephone. And one of the last things that I said to her is, "Belinda, the world that we live in is so wicked and evil. I feel so sad and I'm so troubled, and it's so very tragic that our children and our grandchildren are inhabiting this type of world." And I told her, I really don't know what the answer is. I really don't know. But I think that the only way to overcome the darkness is to be a light.
You've been with me while I've been sick, through all my fears. You have encouraged me and inspired me to reach higher. I've learned so much about myself with you. You've been my turn up and my church. I wouldn't want to go through this journey with anyone but you. I look up to you in a lot of ways, and I strive to educate myself more like you have. And when we are at odds, I feel defeated and sad, knowing that we are so much better than that. I just want you to know that you've been the greatest boyfriend to me. You aren't perfect, but I would never ask you to be. You and I work, we fit, and you're the coolest guy in the world to me, still. I love you so much unconditionally. My truth is this: I'm never gonna give up on you. My love and my devotion is to you. And I sent that January 21st, 2019. I had to write something because I've never felt this type of pain before, but I know that God is alive. But bear with me, y'all. His soul was majestic. He was the strongest man that I ever knew, a gentle father, a patient leader, a divine light. He was brilliant. He researched everything, completely self-taught, constantly seeking knowledge. He would he would go to bed and listen to these audiobooks in his headphones, and I would tease him, but that really is what I thought was the coolest shit ever about him. And he would wake up in the morning and play music for the kids and light a sage and burn it around the house and just make sure that our energy going outside would be uplifted and that we could handle the day. You know, my pain is for my 2-year-old that probably won't remember how much his dad loved him. This is something that, you know, I don't really understand, but I know that Aramis always used to say to people that you experience them. And I'm so honored and blessed that I got to experience such a man. I know everyone is hurting, but I'd like to say something to my city, Los Angeles. Y'all from LA, stand up. Because this pain is really ours. You know, we know what it meant to us. We lost an incredible soul. We lost someone very rare to us, and we lost a real one. And we won't ever be the same. But in Hussle's words, because he used to always say this, the game is gonna test you, never fold. Stay 10 toes down. It's not on you, it's in you. And what's in you, they can't take away. And he's in all of us. And to Aramis, the love of my life, you know what it is. Grief is the final act of love. My heart hears you. I feel you everywhere. I'm so grateful that I had you. I love you beyond this earth. And until we meet again, the marathon continues.
I want to thank y'all for allowing me the opportunity to speak here today. It's a real honor to be able to appear here and to show love on behalf of my friend, my brother, a great man, a great leader, a great father, a great teacher, and a great friend, Nipsey Hussle. And I want to start off by showing some love to Lauren and Nipsey's children. I want to send Lauren a lot of love for being the beloved queen to our king. See, what we lose focus on is that every real black man needs a real black woman in his life. Every time I would see Nip and Lauren out, they reminded me of me and my wife. It was like black excellence. You love to see that. So, with that being said, Lauren, my wife, my family, my kids, we're here for you. Wherever you need, whatever you need. If you need a shoulder to cry on, if you need a hug, if you just need to get away, we're here for you. We love you, baby girl. We always have and we always will. Bear with me, y'all. I'm trying to stay strong for the homeboy Nip right now. Stay down with me. Stay down with me. I got you, cuz. I got you. Next, I want to acknowledge Nipsey's father. See, because Nip has always benefited from having a strong man in his life. And his father clearly did a great job. He showed Nip how to be a strong man, a strong black man. It was always amazing when I would go to the store, because I would go to the store on my own solo, no security, pull up in the morning, Pops being there, and I could just see the look on his face, and he was so proud of his boys for doing something in the community and doing something positive that was inspiring. And Pops, I'd look at your face every time I come in the store and I just sing the joy, and I just want you to know that you may have lost a son, but you picked up another son in me. And now I gotta send a bundle of love to Nipsey's mother. Lord have mercy. What great strength that she showed. She showed a lot of great strength. She helped us out this weekend. Mother, I want to say this to you dearly without reading. when you said what you said to us, you really uplifted us. We had no understanding. We had no nothing. And you gave us what we needed. You gave us the sense and the purpose to know and understand that it was all right. You made us understand that it was all right because we did not understand it at all. We had no clarity, and we was more or less concerned about you and concerned about Lauren and concerned about the family, but you made us feel good. And we want to thank you for that, mother, for being strong and giving us our strength. I also want to thank all the other mothers in the house right now that's been praying for Nipsey's mother, that's been praying for Lauren. We appreciate all that love from you women. And I want to say this. If it so happens to be that your kids die before you, Nipsey's mother prepared us for this day in the future. Thank you, mother. Now, I didn't grow up with Nip. I didn't grow up with him in the neighborhood as a kid, but I watched Nip grow up in front of me. I watched him grow into a full-grown man and an incredible young businessman. I still remember the first time when he pushed up on me with his tape. Most rappers, when they push up on SnoopDog with a tape, this is their line. Hey, dog, listen to my music. I can make you $1 million. Nipsey's line was, hey, homie, listen to my music. Just give it a listen. That's it? No record deal? You don't want to get put on? So to me, he had vision to know and understand that I don't want to be handed out nothing. I'm going to come get mine. But at the same time, looking for that clarification, looking for that confirmation. You know, just listen to it, homie. The first time I got his CD, I didn't listen to it. I told him that. I kept it 100 with him. I'm like, K-Mac gave me your CD at football practice. Cause I wasn't listening to that. I was at football practice. Then, about a week later, he gave me another CD. So I'm rolling up a blunt in the back seat of the car on the CD. So I opened the CD up. The homie know. Cuz no. He know the story already. So I'm just telling y'all so y'all be enlightened. So I took the CD out and I popped the CD in. I was like, damn, cuz it's hard. So I'm like, K-Mac, cuz, the little homie hard, cuz, let me get down with it. Long story short, we ended up connecting. We ended up making music together. We ended up making a brotherhood. We ended up creating a bond. We created something that was special. And what was crazy was when he first started, a lot of people was like, you know, he looked like me, he this, he that, but I don't think so. I think, you know, it was the fact that he was tall, he was lanky, he had braids, he had that LA mentality, and he claimed the gang. So, I mean, it was natural to be categorized. But one thing that me and Nip had was a kind spirit. We had that spirit of love, of, like Sam said, just magnating. Like people magnate to Snoop Dogg and they magnate towards Nipsey. It's like when we met each other, it was like a magnet coming together. We had the same spirit. But what was crazy was Nip mentality was stronger than a rapper that's been in the game for 15 years. And I'll give you an example of that. One of the first conversations me and Nipsey had, he was talking to me about, hey, cuz, you need to do a amusement park, cuz, doggy land, cuz. I'm like, for real? He like, yeah, cuz, with 40-ounce roller coasters and, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, you Snoop Dogg, cuz, everybody come see you, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, come check your amusement park. I'm like, cuz, you tripping. So he kept, like, every time I would see him, he would always bring it up. He would bring it up. So, like, the 5th time he said it to me, or was it the 6th time? Yeah, the 6th time he said it to me. Let me get politically correct. Yeah, cuz, the 6th time he said it to me, I said, Nip, why don't you just do it for me, cuz? Because I don't understand the dynamics of what you're saying, cuz I'm an old school nigga. I'm ABCD. You didn't went off into the Matrix, cuz. You gotta... So with that being said, Nip ended up creating a square, and he ended up buying property, and he ended up having things like Vector 90, and he ended up doing things in the community, and he built his own doggy land. He built his own world. He built his own thing that people from around the world is starting to come to, take pictures of, stand in front of, immortalize this man. The things that he wanted for me, he did for himself. But he had vision for me that I didn't even have for myself. So I want to thank you, Mother and Father, for bringing Nipsey into this world, for giving us Nipsey. I thank y'all for that. And for those that knew Nipsey Hussle personally, you knew he had nothing but love for every gang member from Southern California. I don't care what neighborhood you was from. One conversation that me and Nip had once upon a time was, cuz, you know the Trays like your music too, cuz. He like, no they don't, cuz. I'm like, yeah they do, nigga. Everybody like our music, cuz. It ain't like that. When you make music and you come from the dirt, one thing about a neighborhood, we gonna respect another man from another neighborhood, even if he ain't from our neighborhood, if he come from where we come from. And I explained that to Nip. And when I was explaining it to him, he was getting it, but he wasn't getting it. But I was like, look at what you're doing. You make records with YG. You made records with Game. You made records with Problem. You making records with Bloods. Crippin' and Bloods making records, and y'all really love each other, and y'all bonding with each other. Y'all pulling up together. You in they neighborhoods. You loving them, and they loving you. You are a peace advocate, Nip. That's what you are. And the reason why I know this is because that's what I am. You know, real recognize real. I know what he is, I know what he was. And the marathon is gonna continue. Look at the love, look at the spirit. This man, I'm gonna end it like this. This man got a letter from Barack Obama, man. My last words will be, for God so loved the world that he gave us a good crib. The late, great neighborhood Nip.
Parents, teach your children to love and to respect and to have integrity. And then children, you go out into the world and you live according to the values that you got, the solid values that you got in your home of origin. And tap into your spirituality. My church is Crest, K-R-S-T. They teach African spiritual science, okay? And that's where I get my strength from. And as black people, I want to encourage you to go back to your roots and find your creator and find your power, your spiritual power. And then when the spirits talk to you, when the LAPD told me that it was Nipsey Hussle that had been shot, my spirit said, oh, that's what it was. Because I already knew it. How does it feel to know your son was so loved? It's amazing. It's amazing because they feel about my son the way I felt about my son. And truth is always truth. And light always overcomes the dark. Be the light. Be the light of change that you want to see. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Nipsey Hussle.
Yes.
Tragically killed.
Yes.
I interviewed him once, and the way that he was presented, you know, at the end of his life,
right,
was pretty much the way our interview went.
Right.
Very business-minded, very forward-thinking,
right,
very intelligent.
Right.
I have absolutely nothing but good things to say about him.
You know what made me saddest about Nipsey Hussle?
What's that?
It's not what he was, it's what he could have been.
Yeah.
I think, and I said this, you can't have a tomorrow when you keep killing your todays.
Yeah.
The very things, the very answers to the questions that plague our communities, he was the answer to.
Well, you grew up in a very similar environment.
Right.
In what area?
135th and Avalon.
And what's that considered?
Compton, L.A., Willowbrook. Right.
Got it. You grew up in a blood neighborhood.
Yes.
He grew up in a Crip neighborhood.
Right.
Not that big of a difference at the end of the day.
But you know that makes me the saddest is there was a time in my life where I'd have seen something like when I was very young. I would have seen something like that where another guy from another neighborhood got killed. And if he wasn't in my neighborhood, I wouldn't have felt the empathy or sympathy I did. Because we're conditioned to believe that the only thing that matters is our 6-block radius that our mother and father are struggling to pay the rent on.
Yeah, I mean, I interviewed Big U, who was,
right,
the OG from the Rolling 60s. And, he kind of broke down the Rolling 60s A-Tray gangster beef.
Right. More than it was a beef with the Rolling 60s and the A-Tray gangsters, it split up L.A.
Yeah.
Like when the Rolling 60s and the A-Tray gangsters started fighting, it split L.A. in half.
I remember that. I remember. Now I was a blood, but I remember the. It seemed weird to me because there was so few bloods when I grew up that we didn't beef like that. I mean, we'd have fights and stuff, but that the 60s and the A-Tray gangsters, their mortal enemies were both Crips, and they lived right next to each other. And it always seemed weird to me.
Right, and he kind of described how, both those gangs were so big and so affiliated with other gangs that it kind of split L.A. down the middle.
Right.
Because if you were cool with the 60s, you now had to have beef with the A-Trays. And if you were friends with the A-Trays, now you have beef with the 60s.
The 111 Hoovers, the 107s. It was like a weird thing. And there was, what makes me the saddest, there was a time in my life where I watched other black men being slaughtered, and I thought nothing of it. And that makes me sad. And it makes me sad because the 55-year-old me would have looked so would have despised the 15-year-old me. Because if you get to be this age, you get a continuum of experience. I get 40 years of experiences where I can look back. But I will say this, that I think there's an idea. Look at the way we see ourselves. Like, I never wanted to leave my neighborhood. I thought it was the best place ever. I thought that everything I ever needed or everybody I ever loved was there. And then now I've seen the world. And now I know my neighborhood is the world. So that would say to me, if a black man gets choked to death in New York because he's in my neighborhood, the 50-year-old me wouldn't have cared. The 55-year-old me does. If Trayvon Martin, the 15-year-old me wouldn't have cared. The 55-year-old me does.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have these types of situations, and I'm not talking about the Nipsey situation.
Sure.
I'm just talking about on a macro level. Right? And, like, you have, for example, the 60s A-Tray beef. 40 years.
Yeah, a little longer than that. A little longer than that.
Where you grow up, and you're being told this group of people that you've never met over a situation you know nothing about, really, that's your enemy. You have to refer to those people as your enemies. That's my enemy-hood. Those are my enemies over there.
It's the Hatfields and McCoys.
Yeah.
It's Palestine and Israel.
Yeah.
What I know now that I didn't before, everywhere black people and brown people live is where we were forced to live. There were places you couldn't live in Los Angeles. I remember when my mother and father wanted to buy a house, I was a little boy. There were places we could live. You could live in Inglewood.
Compton.
You can live in Compton. You can live in the inner cities.
Carson.
And you can live in Carson. And that's where you could live. Everywhere we live, every hood we fight for is where they told us we had to be. They gave us the chitlins of real estate, and we fight over it. And it's insane to me.
You don't own it.
But the 15-year-old me wouldn't have known what the 55-year-old me does. The thing I loved about Nipsey is that he had a connection to the people in that area, but his connection was deeper than that. It wasn't just people in his neighborhood that came to see him. You know what? I bet you more people lined the streets of Los Angeles and watched this procession than came to see Donald Trump be inaugurated as president. More people probably looked and said goodbye to Nipsey than hello to him. Now, that's not because he represented the 60s. That's because he represented us. That's because in us is all of us.
I think what a lot of people don't understand is that Nipsey was celebrated during his death, not for his rapping, but what he did outside of rap. If you take the rap away, he would still be just as celebrated because of what he did.
Biggie and Tupac sold way more albums.
Way more.
Did they get buried at the Staples Center?
No. Although Biggie had a huge procession.
He did have a huge
in
procession.
Brooklyn, yeah.
He might have had it in Brooklyn. He didn't have it in Africa. He didn't have it in Europe. He didn't have it in South Central, in Texas, in New York. Do you know why? Because his art wasn't his thing. His humanity was. And the thing that's beautiful about that is, I think that the children that live in these inner cities that are shell-shocked with all this violence now see something that ain't just being a basketball player or a rapper or an athlete or a comedian. It's that you can be a human being and be so human that you connect with a place. There's no lyric, no joke, or no catch that could ever touch the places in our hearts that Nipsey Hussle did. And that's amazing to me. But that's aspirational for people. What if you wanted to be that? When I grew up, I wanted to be like the dude that shot Nipsey. I thought that was the greatest thing ever.
Eric Holder.
To put in work for your set. I thought that was dope.
Yeah, although I don't know whether he was really putting in.
But I'm just saying,
if you in that situation. But I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But to have the idea that the destruction of things was better than the building of it.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden you have a young man who died, who showed you that living your life, even though it was short, in a way of when I've never seen black men, a young black man like that in my life, celebrated for his service to people.
Yeah, man. I mean, when you talk about, aspiring to do violence, like I remember I interviewed Mr. Capone, who was affiliated with the Mexican, the Sureños, and he said as a kid, and this has always blown my mind. He said that
my dreams, like it even sounds crazy as hell, but my dreams were like I want to be doing life in prison.
As a 17-year-old kid, you dreamed
to
have life in prison.
I dreamed that.
And to be like a high-ranking member calling shots from your jail cell.
When you're a kid, I was loving violence. I was loving the streets. I was loving the power. I was gaining power because I was not just the average. I was actually out there putting in work, so I would see the power, and I was enjoying the power. But when you get to jail, you realize like it's just like at the end of the day, I'm not gonna say shit, but everyone ain't loyal. Everyone ain't really for the push.
Which is absolutely crazy. You aspire to go do life in prison. And I remember I asked a couple other people, other Mexican artists, and they're like,
when you're a youngster, that's everybody's mentality. That was mine too.
You had that same mentality?
Same mentality. That's when you're a youngster, your dream is to hit Pelican Bay and all that stuff, you feel me? But as you become older and like you have kids and shit, and you have homies that are already there, or, you know what I mean? And see what it really is, you kind of change your views in life and shit. Like,
to aspire to this is so backwards. And they realize it's backwards now when they're older and they have kids and everything else.
Because they have a continuum of experiences.
Right.
When you're young and all you have is this area, and all you have is this set of rules, and all you had is this set of circumstances. The thing about Nipsey is it's the thing that is prevalent all across these cities, all across this country. And I speak to this country in particular because this is where I live, but all across this country is there a lot of young black and brown men, boys, who will never become men because their idea of what that look like is so small, they think getting to the next day is a victory.
This shit is still hard for me to deal with. Like,
yeah, me too.
And the thing is, like, 'cause I lost my best friend, right? And the shit that resonates with me the most is seeing the family, right? And you go there to try to be there for them, and they're stronger than you. You know what I'm saying? And it's a weird dynamic that you deal with throughout this whole process. For you, obviously, you lost homies before. For you, what was it different, in your opinion, about Nip than it was about other folks that you lost in the past?
This was like, I ain't gonna lie, this was like on a higher level. I don't understand why I did this. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it.
Yeah.
This was like on the level of mom's type shit.
Yeah, fact.
Because the connection was genuine. I ain't gonna even try to sit here and find the words.
Yeah.
It's just that feeling, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand it. Yeah. But like I said, it's on the mom's level. Like, damn, cuz they, and then how you went.
Right.
That's even worse.
I do appreciate, like, and then I was a part of it. Obviously, everybody was at the ceremony, but I did find joy in, you know, the parade, the marathon. To see that shit. And to see, like, because I remember us talking one time about, like, you know, him riding dirt bikes and, like, you know, police, you know, lighting you up type shit. And to see a sanctioned, like, parade, really like a real parade.
Oh God,
you know what I'm saying? In the whole city, the whole city, not like the east side, the west side,
everywhere, the whole county for sure.
That had to mean more to you. I mean, obviously for you, that had to mean more to y'all than it did to us. It meant a lot to me because Nip was my homie. But seeing the marathon, the parade, like, how did that affect you? Did that do anything to bring you a little peace?
Yeah, that shit was dope. Because we going through other hoods, and it could have went bad. Even with the Johnny there, because niggas is crazy. But it was nothing but love. We going through the Hoovers, we went through the jungles. We done went through so many different hoods, and they showing love. They just banging their hood. You know, and they showing love, respect. For real, that shit was like on a different level.
Right.
Yeah.
The only silver lining I feel like, and I said it before, we said it on the radio, is the fact that the impact of what the conversations have been like after the fact. Obviously, we don't know what's going on now, but to see different hoods get together, you know what I'm saying, at least start that conversation of peace or whatever may come from that. I feel like, I'm like, damn, if there's any type of silver lining with that, if the conversation is there to start, then damn, hopefully that doesn't have its passing go in vain. You know what I mean?
Right.
Still don't understand the shit, but I feel like, do you understand where I'm coming from? Like, as far as the conversations, at least the dialogue, do you see a difference in the streets as far as that, or is it kind of like that was a one and done moment?
I mean, everybody ain't gonna change as a whole. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's still shit going on, still murders cracking. It ain't completely stopped.
Right.
You know, because they got knuckleheads out here, you know what I'm saying, who don't want to grow, who really don't give a fuck, and who really, mind just gone, you know what I'm saying? But as far as, like, if we could change some, then that's cool. We know we can't get everybody on board.
Right.
We gotta just let them self-destruct. They go fuck around, get cracked, and go do life or some shit.
You touched on, as far as Nipsey leaving the blueprint, like doing it the whole time pretty much, right? What's a valuable lesson that you learned in the music or in business from Nip? Like, what's something that you picked up along the way?
He ain't never quit. After all them obstacles and how shit went bad. You know, we human, shit go bad for you. I done seen shit go bad for bro, and he didn't quit. He ain't show no weakness. He kept going. I done seen niggas turn on him, and he stayed down. He held his ground. He was fearless, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I took from that, for sure.
That's what's up.
You've been posting different text messages through the threads as far as your last times talking to him, or the last text message. What was the last conversation that you remember having with him?
It was March 30th, and we was talking about the rollout for No Guts, No Glory.
That was a dated video drop too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we was talking about releasing the video, which I did, and I was asking him how to do the DJ service pack, and he ended up putting me in a group chat with him and DJ VIP, so we can get that done and I shop it out to the DJs and shit. That was the last thing, like 2 in the morning that morning.
I think it was Roddy who spoke on it too. Roddy always speaking about how Nip always trying to help people, and not even just for the cameras, just on the low, like, you go, my nigga, I got you, like that type of thing. Do you feel like what's something that you remember that don't nobody know about? Like, as far as like maybe a bar you got from the homie, or maybe like him looking out one time for you, putting you in contact with somebody. What's something that stands out to you in your mind that'll stay with you forever, like a memory or something like that you can share with us?
So there was I was selling some merch, whatever. I shot him. I was playing with Cuz, though, like, hey, nigga, support this shit, you know, buy some of this shit. Cuz ended up sending me a rack through PayPal.
Wow.
Yeah, and the shirts was $25. Cuz sent $1,000 though.
Man, that's a lot of shirts.
Yeah, for sure. I'm like, all right, shit.
All right, go look it out.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta hit the Twitter real quick. At PacManDaGunman on Twitter.
Yeah.
He said, PSA. I see any jeweler making any all money in piece, and it's not for us, I'm tripping. I see anybody wearing all money in piece, and it's not his, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Are people really doing that shit?
Man. And my phone, I keep getting screenshots. Niggas is getting pieces made, and they acting like they couldn't wait for this shit to happen to do that. If you're not gonna do it while he here,
right?
Don't do it at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's like talking shit about a nigga behind their back, and then when they get there, you're like, "What up, bro?"
Right.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Yeah. You feel me?
YG spoke on that too. Fake Nipsey love going on right now.
Yeah.
Like he was just fed up and irritated with it.
Right.
Obviously you at that point too with the pieces and the t-shirts and the merch, the fake marathon shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to figure out like what's the solution. Do you think that, like, okay, say for instance, say Chuck is gonna put together like an all money in thing, right?
Right.
But he's doing it simply out of love. Like he's really trying to show love. How do you differentiate that between the people that's just trying to make a profit or make a dollar off the homie?
I mean, if they gonna reach out, they gotta holler at the team. They gotta holler at Sam. They gotta holler at somebody that's locked in, Karen Sue, anybody, JP, and ask them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This is respect.
Yeah, respect. Because I ain't finna go sell 92.3 shirts.
Hell no.
Right.
I'm Crenshaw and Slauson.
Yeah, now they coming.
Like, you feel me?
Yeah, they coming for sure.
Don't do that to us. You know what I'm saying? That's a sensitive topic right there.
Sensitive topic.
We gonna get cut, you know.
Right.
Yeah, for the best.
Right.
Yeah.
How has the city, reacted to, the situation that happened?
Man, I just seen it, the whole state, damn near the world, that put everything on pause, cause like everything stopped. The energy, cause I felt the energy like in the world, cause like everywhere I go, they want the same energy, cause it's different. Niggas looking at you different now. People different because, just because we knew Cuz on a different personal level, the way he conducted himself and the music, everybody felt like they had a chance to meet Cuz on that same personal level as us. Yeah. And I ain't mad at that. So, the love is there, for sure.
Right. Now, when was the first time you met Nipsey?
Shit, I was right here. I was probably like, I already knew him. I used to see Cuz, he knew me, throw the hood up to him. But this one particular day, he was shooting a video. I forgot what song it was. And I was right here grinding. Cuz like, hey, you want to be in the video? I'm like, yeah, come on.
And this was right here?
It was right here, on hood. Cuz like, yeah, just, you go hand a smoker a rock. It was for the Hustle Way video shoot. Yeah, that's yours. Yeah, we shot that shit, and from there on, Cuz started to fuck with me. Cuz to pull up, come get a nigga, drive around, talk, try to do a master plan.
Right. So he just randomly asked you, did you want to be in it?
Cuz he been seeing me here for all them years. And I'm right here just thugging and grinding the same shit. Right here, leaning on this pole. I got a Dorito bag with a 32 in it right here. Got some dope in that thing right there, Cuz. So he pulled up like, hey, he already knew who I was. But that was like the first, really.
Right.
Yeah.
So one thing led to another. You're in the music video.
Yeah.
What's next after that?
So that was still right here. And then years later, I started doing music. Cause my nigga Hoagie, BH, Cuz put up on me. We had a little conversation, did a little situation, Cuz like we need to do a song about this shit. I'm like, no, I don't fuck around, Cuz I don't rap. I'm gonna leave that up to y'all. Cuz like, no, come on. But Cuz stayed around the corner from me. On 6 so some way Cuz told me like, let's go. I ended up going. He convinced me somehow, and I did the song with him. It's called Caviola. It was talking about cooking dope. You know what I'm saying? And when he played it back to me, I'm like, that shit hard. Just hearing myself on the playback and whatever. Cause like he gassed me up. So the next day I go to the Guitar Center and I buy all the cheapest equipment they got, like little bullshit.
So you wasn't really rapping for real before that?
I wasn't rapping for real. Nah, I wasn't rapping. That shit. I ain't even planning on rapping, cuz this shit, I just wanted to give me a bird, cuz I was gonna stand right here. I got to a quarter key, and I'm like, cuz, this what we gonna do. But that shit changed the nigga, cuz niggas started seeing something different, felt different, Right. Yeah.
So you would say Nipsey kind of took you out the streets a little bit?
Yeah, he did. Cause he already told me nigga can't do both. You can't win from this shit. Nigga done seen too many crash dummies.
Right.
Right here. And the demonstration spoke.
Right.
niggas seen it, but we was still trying to ignore it. I was blind to it. I just seen niggas get killed right here. Niggas that caught life right here. I'm like, cuz, they gotta figure it out, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And niggas just took the music serious. Whatever I do, I'm gonna go all the way, cause niggas be hungry. I ain't gonna waste my time. I'm gonna put my all into it.
Right. Sure. And Nipsey just wasn't a rapper. He was more like a brother, a mentor.
Yeah, all that.
He used to teach you all the time and shit, right?
Yeah,
give you ideas and shit,
all
advice.
Kind of shit. Yeah. Cuddy gave a nigga so much advice, I done forgot a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I regret forgetting it. I'll say so sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to record cuz I know we gonna have a long convo. I'm gonna put my phone on record, but I end up not doing it. And cuz give a nigga so much game and I just, you know what I mean, forget it.
What was like that thing that Nipsey would always get onto you about, you know, to stop doing, like one of your bad habits?
He never stopped, told me to stop doing certain shit, cuz it just told me the positive. He like, one thing cuz always told me, you can't cheat the game, cuz be true to the game gonna give it right back. And cuz said, success is a journey and not a destination. And when I'm looking at that, I'm like, yeah, for sure, nigga gotta keep going. Right. Even now, cuz I just keep going to the text. Every time a nigga get discouraged and shit, they go back to them text messages, check that shit out. Yeah.
Now, you know, last month it was a lot of videos of the unity in LA. You know, the Bloods and Crips linking up, everybody together. Is it still like that now, or was that just for them?
Niggas got killed the next day. Cuz. I mean, I'm all for it. I don't promote violence, cuz, but you know, nigga gotta get the in-home together first. You know, gotta be cool. The internal wars and shit, cuz they gotta get that together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The unity cool, I'm all for that. But they gotta do it the right way.
But things are improving, you know, in the city.
Hell yeah. Now that we grown, shit. We slowed down a lot.
Right.
He said, you know, curfews on them. That was a true story. True. Yeah. Come on, cuz. They know. On the hood.
And one thing about Nip, like Nip wasn't a guy who signed artists and shelved them. Like, he posted your music a lot. Like, you know, your video was the last one on this page before the tragedy that happened.
Right.
And I seen you getting a lot of people DMing you know, getting a lot of messages and shit like that as well.
They tapping in.
Right.
But I'm like, cuz, been telling you niggas all the truth.
Yeah.
I'll say so, and I ain't heard cuz tell a lie yet. Right. Been telling y'all this shit for the past X amount of years. Everything I drop, cuz is involved with it. Cuz go promote it. Cuz go criticize it to me, you know what I mean? So, all that, listen, niggas gotta keep that same energy, cuz niggas acting like they love my niggas so much and they heard and all this. On 6-0, believe what he believe in. On 6-0. Niggas ain't ask y'all to do nothing, but nigga, do it the right way. Niggas go fake, cuz though. I mean, do it the right way.
Right. Now, you know, we've been following up with the story.
Right.
We posted you before and after. We always showed you hella love.
Yeah, y'all did.
But when we post certain celebrities, a lot of our fan base feel like it's fake love.
Right.
And it's kind of weird because it's like people want to show love afterward, but before then, you know, people spending money in stores and stuff like that. What do you think about, you know, celebrities, you know, showing love now that he's gone?
I think niggas been had love. I just felt like the timing was bad. Niggas got lives and shit to take care of. Niggas got families, businesses, and all this other shit they gotta do. So when I say bro passed, I said that everything was on pause, cuz. And once everything went on pause, that's when they finally made their way. Got some time to come, support, and do what they wanted to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't.
So you don't really look at it as clout chasing?
Nah, I mean, certain niggas might be, but, you know, shit, I don't know. I just felt like niggas, it's all about timing, really, bro. Yeah. Honestly. I think it's about timing.
Right.
And niggas had time to pull up. I mean, shit. Niggas didn't want to drop no music. Niggas push their albums back. Niggas push their singles back. And they pulling up. I mean, come on, cuz like a brother to everybody, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Right now that he's gone, I mean, you're more motivated than ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
what could we expect, you know, throughout the summer, the rest of 2019 for real?
Man, I'm finna drop my new project. I'm gonna sell the project for $60. You know, like he said, it's always by choice, never by force. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, it was gonna be big. The rollout, the video was the first step to the rollout for the whole thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But nigga gonna keep going for sure. They got the gangster shit cooking.
Right. Now, before we get off the topic, you know, a lot of people was talking about conspiracies and stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you feel about, you know, all that shit that you see on the internet? Because I know y'all see so much different shit on the internet. You know,
I only read my comments sometimes. I don't really be tapped all the way in. If I hear about it, it's because somebody around me talking about it. You know, I don't really tap into that type of shit.
Right.
Yeah, I don't fuck with conspiracies and all that shit.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Is the city still upset with Kodak, or is that ain't really shit?
I mean, certain niggas hold grudges. I mean, shit, I don't know, cuz I can't speak for everybody. Kodak, cuz, you know, cuz was wrong on Hood, and the apology was bullshit, I feel like, on Hood, but you know, we'll let the time in the universe deal with that type of shit, cuz, you know what I'm saying?
Wrong time for the
That
remarks.
was a sensitive situation, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but life come back at you full circle, cuz, so, you know, everybody got a date, and then when it's your date, you know, shit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Say about him. The interview we had, which was like 5-6 years ago, was pretty much the same stuff he was saying now. He had the same mentality.
He got it way before we got it.
Yeah. Being in that area, right there in the epicenter of when that shooting happened, how did that affect you, and how did it feel in that community at that point?
Well, it's not even a how did it affect me, it's a how does it affect me, and not how was it. We're still living it. Now, what has... Okay, so I was in Vegas when my daughter called me, and I was getting ready for a show, and she was like, Mom, Nipsey got shot, and I was like, she said they shot him 6 times. I was like, what? Now, my mind immediately went to Tupac, and I'm like, oh, God, you know, I hope he's not going to be a vegetable or something like that, but never did I think he was going to die. Never. I said, he's going to make it, this is terrible, whatever, keep putting on my makeup. 5 minutes later, my daughter's father called me and told me that he was dead, and I was fucking shook. And then I had to go do a comedy show. So immediately when I got to, this was in Vegas, I asked the DJ, can you pull up this song? Can we play this? So I'm probably one of the first people who did a tribute to Nip that same night within 3 hours, you know? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shows within 4 hours. So then the next day, Monday, I flew home. My daughter and I, she told me she had already been over there. My daughter and I drove from the airport to the area where they now had it roped off for blocks, or people, you couldn't drive up there. You had to park and walk. So we parked and we walked, and I went around the corner, and just so many, it was just devastation. Everybody was shook in shock, crying, unbelievable, burning candles, teddy bears, blue rags. It was just what? And I walked straight in the middle of that shit, and I was just I can't, because then, by the time I got out to the show, I was able to see video. And I'd been over there before. I didn't start going to the marathon shop after this happened. I had already been going over there. My daughter went over there first, and then so on. And it was just, it's now it sort of feels like, if you go over your granny's house and she's passed away, and it's still granny's house, but there's nobody there, it feels hollow. I swear to you, the birds don't chirp the same. I swear. It's like Zombieville. And we know that above the 10 freeway, it's just another newspaper article. Nobody's even giving it a second thought. But below the 10 freeway, it's a whole mood. The air changes. There's no way to escape, because I had to drive past there to come here. The art that is everywhere on the bank. You know you can't get away with tagging the bank. There's mural on the bank. Every corner you turn, there's Nipsey. Nipsey, he's like the obvious king. Like if you came from another country, you would say, oh, this guy's the king. You know, of at least this area. It's very, 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 very difficult. The helicopters that flew continuously for 6 days, day and night and day. The barricades, the traffic jams, the news cameras, the people asking, could they pay me to park in my driveway? The marches, the Muslims, the police, the crowds, it's insanity. And I'm old enough to have lived through 6 assassinations, because that's what this was. Like people say, oh, Nipsey passed away. No, your granny passed away. Nipsey was assassinated in cold blood on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I saw it.
And he said something interesting. He said, keeping it real is the worst phrase to ever hit the urban community.
It's the worst phrase to ever hit the urban community, because mentally you attach that to, I have to continue doing the same things I did before I became who I am now.
Right.
And that's a fallacy.
That's profound.
Yeah.
But, you know, it applies. So, what the fuck? There is a thing of keeping it real, and there is, you know, it's a thing. So that may be the worst thing to say, that in his opinion, that, you know, it's happened to us because people try to live up to an image of keeping it real and all that type of stuff. But, you know, it can be used to describe certain people, and it's accurate. So what you gonna do?
Well, I mean, he's talking about, for example, someone, you know, rises to fame in a certain community. He don't come around. Oh, he ain't keeping it real. He never comes around here. So he comes around, you know, so then he starts spending time there with security. Oh, look at this punk motherfucker with that fake ass security. What does he think, you know? Oh, he thinks something gonna happen to him. He think that security gonna stop anything? And it's like, no matter what you do, you can't keep it real enough.
Well, I don't think that keeping it real should be a goal. I should think that that's just, you know, what you do. Like, Nipsey was not ignorant. That's obvious. So he knew what the risks were when he let his guard down. You do not get got until you get caught slipping. And he got caught slipping that day. And he shouldn't have, because he should, you know, he just felt like, I'm at home. I'm sure he felt like that. That's the way I feel. I go to the fucking store. I'm somebody. I walk up and down the goddamn street. I'm in the Rite Aid. I go places by my fucking self. You know, you just don't move like that. But he should have. But the man that he is, you know, I guess from what I feel, it's just like, you know I can run over here right quick. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you said something interesting. I think it was on a Breakfast Club interview where you said that people don't die in the street over money. They die over disrespect. And, you know, and we don't know exactly what happened, but the story that's always been circulating was that Nipsey had called him a snitch and told him to get up out of there. And, you know,
that's not really the way that we hear it in my neighborhood. It's more like shitty cuz already had paper. He was already known to truly be a snitch. And he always wanted to be on the team, but never really quite cut the mustard. And Nipsey he came in there, maybe he just happened to be going by there and see the motherfucker, but Nipsey had asked him everything. I've heard that he politely had a man's conversation with him. Like, look, cuz, you know, you can't be hanging around here, you know. You ain't supposed to be here. This is not good look for you nor me. You know, I'm going to ask you to leave. What I heard was that he did it in a respectful way. And the motherfucker still was swole. Because, you know, when you always try to be in the clique, but you don't never get to really be in the clique. And plus the motherfucker's mental or whatever the fuck he was doing at the mental hospital. And ain't no telling what the fuck he was on. Because I heard he done pistol whipped the motherfucker an hour before he even got there. And I don't know what this raggedy ass bitch that he was rolling around with, what they were smoking or drinking or doing or whatever the fuck. So, you know, you combine all that shit and the motherfucker just lost it. But he done fucked up now because he done the wrong one. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. He's not gonna make it, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be either in a mental institution because he's going to probably try to plead
They would
insanity.
shit in his food every day and piss in his little juice drink box.
Or he's going to be in PC. Because
Wherever the fuck he's at.
There's no way he could be in general population.
And there's no way that he's going to live a long and happy life in jail neither. You got to know that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care if you're a Crip or a Blood or whoever, or a Vice Lord, everyone kind of loved Nipsey across the board.
There's been more red and blue colors like this, like the auto shop on the corner had the painted the fence red and blue. There's, Jay Stone got a little emblem about his album thing, it's red and blue. Look at what him and YG did. So, If they could just, if these brothers, if they had enough game to run these streets, if these brothers could get together and unify, which is what Nipsey wanted, but what the government and what the man don't want, he wants us to continue this carnage with each other. He wants us to stay blunted the fuck up. But if these brothers could unite together and do something collectively together, that's the biggest fear America got. And that's exactly what we need to do. We need to do something. We have to do the other thing, like I said, when we come through the depression, when we get over the sadness, because we're wearing this sadness like a coat. I'm a grown-ass woman. I'm into the Temptations, stylistic OJs and shit. But this little motherfucker has something to say. And it cut through all the ages and all the nationalities and all the other bullshit. And it resonated because, if you're in Mexico, you should speak Spanish. If you're in, Africa, you should speak, maybe Swahili. If you're in Crenshaw, you should maybe speak in that vernacular if you want people, these motherfuckers, to hear you. You can't be preaching at these motherfuckers. You can't, Farrakhan gets through to some, not to all. While Luther King got through to some, not to all. But Nipsey, just when you listen to him, and an OG might think like this motherfucker don't know what he's talking about, listen to him. He knows exactly what the fuck he's talking about, and he says it in a way where this motherfucker over here knows what he's talking about. This person over here knows what he's talking about. It's just a waste of a great man to have a punk bitch over some stupid shit. Take the life of a guy with kids, with a future, and somebody trying to elevate us. It makes me sick in my stomach. I heard every day. I'm not sure what's going to happen to us until we get it together. We got to get past this sadness.
Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. Great loss for hip hop, LA, America, and the world as a whole.
Amen.
That article was a lie. Believe me, it was a lie because I had a chance, thank God, to talk to Chief Labrada from the LAPD. Listen closely. Chief Labrada called me this afternoon to talk to me about the newspaper article after seeing the social media posts that many people who love Nipsey posted in concern about what was going on as far as his name being smeared in the public. So the one thing that Chief told me, Nipsey Hussle was not under LAPD investigation for nothing. So I want to make sure that everyone shares this post and make that real clear. The article in the newspaper, Nipsey was under police investigation, and I want to say it's a damn lie. So when I say that, I'm not telling you my opinion, I'm telling you a fact. And when I say facts, keep in mind, and I'm not trying to brag or be arrogant, but the facts are, when Brother Kerry Lathan was arrested on a parole hold, it was, under the leadership of activists like myself, along with his family members, Deshaun Evans. We helped free Brother Kerry. When we look at the petition that I created asking that Councilman Marquise Dawson, my brother, designate Crenshaw Slauson to be renamed in Nipsey Hussle's memory.
I will take some calls after this and get some feedback and stuff like that, all right? So, let's get it. Peace, everybody. Welcome back to All Viral Access Media. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and click that bell for more notification. I have an activist out of LA, and he goes by the name of NajeeAli. And I seen his video when he did a video on the police that they was not investigating him, but only the strip mall and the activities that goes on around there. So I have the pleasure of having him here now. So with no further ado, the activist, NajeeAli. What's going on, brother? How you?
Hey, brother, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be a guest on your show talking about our fallen and beloved brother, Nipsey Hussle.
All right, no problem. All right, let me know if y'all can hear it. Please press 1 if y'all can hear it real good. We're going to jump right into it. So, what got you into activism and where you originally from? Let's start there first.
Well, born and raised in Gary, Indiana, home of Michael Jackson and the Jacksons, but I've actually, lived in South Central LA since 1981. So South Central LA, has been home the last 40 years for me. And at the end of the day, I became an activist because someone who I loved and admired, Malcolm X, he said that things won't get better in your neighborhood until you make them better. So I took that to heart and began organizing my community around gang violence to police reform.
Shout out and rest in peace to the ancestor, Malik L Shabazz, aka Malcolm X. That's really somebody I look up to. What organization you align yourself with or you a part of?
Well, my group in LA is called Project Islamic Hope. Hope stands for helping oppressed people everywhere, and we help everyone. It doesn't matter what religion, what race you are. It's about helping the people who need it the most. But I'm also a member of the LA NAACP, and I'm a supporter of several other grassroots organizations. So at the end of the day, we try to work with everybody.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. So let's jump right into it. What are your thoughts on the Nipsey Hussle's case?
That it's a true tragedy. Nipsey Hussle for South Central LA wasn't just a rapper, a hip-hop artist. He was someone who is a philanthropist, a business person, an activist, someone who put his money where his mouth was, someone who was a gentrification fighter, someone who tried to revitalize, his neighborhood and our community. Someone who gave back and helped others who needed a job, from some of his, former gang member homies to those who had just got out of prison. He was someone who was certainly a pillar and an icon in our community. So for us, at the end of the day, Nipsey wasn't just a rapper. He was bigger than that.
That's right. Absolutely. And you said on your recent video that you spoke to someone in law enforcement that the police weren't investigating Nipsey, but now added that they were investigating the activity around the strip mall, not necessarily Nipsey Hussle. How further you could go into that, because at the end of the day, we do know, and he said on a few occasions in his brother that they were trying to get him up out of there, and he went through hell and back dealing with trying to purchase that mall and be there. So what's your thoughts?
Without question, that's documented. But at the end of the day, and that's why I've always said, listen to what I'm saying real carefully. And the fact is, the truth is out now. There's been a newspaper article verifying what I'm saying. The LA Times wrote an article yesterday. You can get that on my page, or you can just go to LATimes.com and just Google Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle was never under any criminal investigation. So he was never under any criminal investigation. Nipsey was a pillar of the community. But those around him, that area was under criminal investigation. And at the end of the day, anyone that knows that area knows that it's a, area that has, gang members around it.
Right.
Nipsey was a former gang member, rolling 60s, neighborhood Crips. So that strip mall that Nipsey ended up, purchasing with his business partner and others was always, a neighborhood 60s, hangout. since Nipsey was executed. We've had, unfortunately, tourists come to pay their respects, but they've been robbed. Someone was actually killed there last month at the Shell gas station, which is actually maybe 30, 40, 50 feet away. So it was a area that had some problems in it due to the area that was in.
I heard about that, so that's actually true. So the tourists that was going in to pay homage and respect, they were getting robbed, and someone eventually got murdered. A tourist eventually wound up getting.
Well, someone got murdered definitely at the Shell gas station. We actually met with the Chief Scott of the LAPD South Bureau concerning that. That's no secret. But certainly, people who came down there, and I guess they were viewed as outsiders for those who lived there. Some people got manhandled. There were complaints from residents that tourists were coming, double parking, in the driveways, blocking traffic, and just, being disruptive. So there were some issues down there, which is why the LAPD, along with the city attorney's office, wanted more fencing, more lighting in that area because it was a safety concern.
Okay. All right, now, DavidGross, was getting letters from the city attorney. What do you say to that? Have you seen that post when,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I read the whole article he posted on his Instagram account.
That's right.
Everyone's read the letter, and the letter is actually, true, except for there was one sentence in there that he put in there that was, I would say, disingenuous, and we took an exception to, and that was, Nipsey Hussle being, harassed and investigated. Because as I said previously, Nipsey was never under a criminal investigation, but certainly, those around him were being investigated. In fact, it's public knowledge that the LAPD raided Nipsey's grandmother's home in October of 2018. But that had nothing to do with Nipsey at all. It had everything to do with a family member of his who was arrested by the LAPD and eventually was released, and no charges were filed against that family member. So as I stated, certainly there was LAPD activity around Nipsey's associates, but Nipsey was never the target of an LAPD investigation.
Okay. Now the gates is up now. Some say it's due to them building the tower in Nipsey's legacy, and I just finished doing a live where the Cochran firm put up a statement that Black Sam has said that, and basically in a nutshell, that they are going to build that tower in his legacy. But some say they building the tower, and some say that because he owed over, I think, $70 or $17 in like property tax or whatever, or something like that. But what would be? I know that's kind of loaded, but what is your thoughts due to them building that tower, and why the gates is up around there? What, since you're around there, you would know more intel of what and why those gates is up.
Well, I was down there yesterday, so at the end of the day, it's what Black Sam says. It's what Nipsey's girlfriend, LaurenLondon, posted on her Instagram account. A Nipsey Towers is going to be built there on that property. It's going to be, I think, a mixed land use development with apartment buildings and stores at the bottom of the first floor. Right. So obviously, before they start construction, they put the gate up before they start, tearing things down. And that's like not uncommon with any
but it makes sense.
That's about to be built.
Right. That's what they do before they start construction. They close off the perimeter, put the gates up, so you know what I'm saying. So they could do their work and keep people from going in or trespassing at that point. So it actually makes sense. Sometimes, I'm pretty sure you heard the saying, common sense is not common anymore, right? So sometimes, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I have, and at the end of the day, we just have to stop sometimes and stop with these conspiracy theories and just use common sense. And at the end of the day, that property is going to be redeveloped, and that's what they're in the pre-stages of doing. that's why the fencing is up.
Right. I think I'm a yeah, I will save that question for last. All right. But when you did that video in front of the in the parking lot or whatever by the strip mall, that you spoke about the cops not investigating them, but you also added, goddammit, pardon me, elder, my mouth is kind of crazy, so excuse me, but you, from what I'm listening, because I'm attentive to words, did you mention the name of the getaway driver? Huh? Did that slip up? Because I try to get the name, but I can't get it. Like, I can't, and I listened to it so many times to get it, but what?
Well, I mean, the street put her name out there from the very beginning, saying her name was Ebony Berry.
Right.
The female getaway driver.
Ebony Berry, okay.
Yeah. But I made a decision, just as a black man, I didn't want to put her out there like that, even though she was responsible for helping Nipsey's assassinator escape justice. I wanted to be bigger than that as a black man and not stoop to their level.
Right.
That's why, if I did say her name, it wasn't intentional.
Right. It didn't sound intentional. It didn't sound intentional at all.
But the reality of it is, everybody in South Central LA, they know what her name is.
Right.
And it's been on all our social media accounts, from day one.
All right, now there's a witness, because I just finished reading that article, the Euroweb article where it says that you have a witness that's willing to testify that the getaway driver was in fact aware of the premeditated murder of Nipsey. Would you like to, basically, let's talk about that?
Well, yeah, in fact, we're Facebook friends now, so go to my page. Once we're done at your convenience, you'll see a new video I just posted after we left the police station. So the witness met me down there and did indeed give his testimony to the LAPD homicide detectives who are investigating Nipsey's execution. He spoke to them and stated that the getaway female driver indicated she did know a murder was going to occur. She did not want Eric Holder, who is her boyfriend, who she's pregnant by, to do the drive-by shooting in her car, which is why he got out the car and she drove right around the alley and waited for him. Now keep in mind, and this is facts, Eric Holder shot off at least 10 rounds. So who waits in the alley after hearing 10 gunshots and doesn't drive off, but waits for the person who's running to the car with a gun in his hand? It's common sense. Also, she knew that a murder was about to happen. And I'm just grateful that someone had the courage and conviction to call me and ask me to help mediate a conversation with this witness who came forward and the LAPD detective this afternoon, which I did accomplish.
So he's wanted to testify in everything to make sure she's held accountable, and she should. Forget that. She should be held accountable, because even in the transcript, she done lied. Like, she ain't never see the 60s tattoo when he had no shirt on. No, I wasn't looking. I even went over the transcripts. She's full of it. So at the end of the day, this is to make sure that that immunity gets lifted or retracted, right? Because once you is granted immunity, you can't. It's almost like double jeopardy, right? So they can't retract that, or it stays where it is.
No, they can retract it and withdraw immunity because the court proceedings are still going on. Eric Holder has not faced his day in court yet. So what we're saying is we want the immunity deal lifted because we do know now, based on the witness coming forward, we have new evidence, new information that should be taken into account by the DA's office. The reality of it is she never should have been granted immunity because we didn't need her to be a witness against Holder. The two people that Eric Holder shot could be the witnesses, were the witnesses. We have videotape of Holder running with the guns from the murder scene to the car. So why do we need her to be a witness? We didn't need her to be a witness to begin with. Right. At the end of the day, had Justin Timberlake been shot and murdered, everybody in that car would be under the jail. So Nipsey deserves total justice, not partial justice.
Now, as we know in the transcripts, there's a lot of cameras, angles that has not been presented to the public. Only that gas station that's across from the strip mall. We know that, well, at least Cowboy said that even though that's the first smart store in the world, but the cameras is not working. So there's no footage from the actual inside of the marathon or outside the marathon. So the question I'm trying to ask you, at some point, someone said when he was walking up, it kind of looked like it, but I kind of felt like maybe nah. But anyway, as Shitty Cuz or Eric Holder was walking up, a guy got out the car and they kind of met up at one point, and it almost looked like his left hand handed him a gun, and then he went straight to Nipsey and did what he did. Have you came across that theory?
I saw, I think, a video angle of that early on, where it appeared, a man standing by a car who walks by. So I saw that on the internet immediately, maybe a few days after Nipsey's execution, and that was a theory that's out there that someone did hand Holder a gun. So at the end of the day, I'm not positive, I'm not sure, but one thing I do know for sure, Eric Holder murdered Nipsey Hussle, and the getaway driver was aware of that and to be held accountable. So if nothing else, both those two should be locked up in jail forever.
All right, I got just a couple more. I got like 4 more, and that's it, or 5. Is it safe to say that because she said in the transcripts that she only seen one gun and he had his shirt off? So if he had 2 guns, such as a revolver, she seen one gun, which is the black gun, the 9mm. If you sitting down in the car and you got a gun in your front or back pocket, or especially your front pocket, you have a revolver, you'll be able to see the imprint in your pants, or you'll be able to see the handle on your waist. So where did that other gun come from? So that's kind of one of my questions. I mean, you don't have to answer that, but that was kind of a random thought that came to my mind when you said that. So so if anything, the witness is well aware that he was going to kill somebody, but did she know specifically he was going to kill Nipsey? Now that's the thing, because it's saying that she knew he was going to kill somebody, but is it a fact that she knew he was going to kill Nipsey?
Well, according to the witness who gave his testimony to the detectives today, he stated that she did not believe that Nipsey was the murder target per se. And honestly, I would tend to believe that part only because, and the photos are out there, she took a selfie with Nipsey.
Right.
So I'm thinking to myself, well, who takes a selfie with someone if you know you're about to help murder that person? So that didn't add up. But the one thing that the witness came forward today and said that she knew that Eric Holder was going to kill someone. And that's why we're asking that the immunity deal be lifted, because at the end of the day, let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Say that she did not know Nipsey was the target. She still knew that an innocent human being was going to be murdered.
That's right.
So that's grounds enough with this new information and this new witness coming forward to have that immunity deal lifted and stripped away from her, because at the end of the day, she's still a co-conspirator to an innocent human being being murdered, which means she has the capability of doing it again. We can't have murderers, walking amongst us, because
that's right.
What black man, black woman, or black child is going to be next with her help.
Yep. All right. Okay, now, I don't know if you aware, but probably is. But Nip name is not on any of the documents as far as owning the property. Joint ventures with DavidGross, except for the store. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, that's something that I did hear about, and obviously, I'm a little bit business savvy, but I have some concerns about that because they're putting it out there like Nipsey was an owner, part owner, but if your name was not on any of the LLC property, then you're not the owner.
Absolutely not.
So, for me as an activist, that's not my business, so I'm gonna stay out of that. I think Black Sam and Nipsey's family need to, talk about that piece themselves and work, and figure it out. So at the end of the day, I'm just leaving that piece alone. But I did find that out once I learned that information.
And just to add on briefly, that area is a tax advantage opportunity zone. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Okay. Now, they building a rail system over there that's going to bring big profits, just new people and stuff like that, more money, revenue to that area. Big wigs only know how valuable that'll be. So do you think that they did not want David or Nipsey to prosper from that, knowing that's generational wealth? Because that is generational wealth, and we just finished speaking about it. If he's not on any of those documents, and it's just DavidGross, I will hope that Nipsey and Black Sam have a separate contract signed and notarized with all of their signatures with DavidGross that he will have a share in this tower or something connected to it, because now they will only just give money to the family and that's it, but he walk away with profits. And then after 10 years, after having that tower in that tax in that zone, you don't have to pay the federal government no money, so all profits comes to you. That's generational wealth starting from the grassroots. So I don't know. It's really kind of effed up, man. I will hope Black Sam and them find a way to get a share in there, or so it's just not looking good. It just feels weird. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if you want to chime in. You don't have to. Trust me. You're an activist. You know what I mean? I don't know. You don't have to chime in on there if you don't want.
No,
what was your thoughts?
As an activist that fights for civil rights and social justice, Nipsey's murder and everything associated with that is our fighting for justice. But when it comes to the business aspects of what's going on, that's not my business. Okay. I think that Black Sam and Nipsey Hussle's family, they need to, work that out amongst the lawyers, business partners, and everything else. So I'm going to stay in my lane and just keep fighting for justice for Nipsey.
All right. 2 questions. We done. What is your overall thoughts on this whole case? Like, overall, however short or long you want to express it or answer it.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Nipsey Hussle did everything that Black people have, from Black celebrities and those who have money, influence, and power, is to come back to the community and give back. But unfortunately, Nipsey did everything that we asked and even more, and unfortunately, that's what cost him his life. It's, so for us, it's a tragedy that will take our community decades to overcome. Because, South Central, young Black boys and girls, we don't have too many heroes and role models, but Nipsey's actually someone who had street credibility, being a Rolling 60s Crip gang member. He was a legitimate, Rolling 60s, but he was also bigger than that. He had transcended himself to be a Grammy-nominated hip-hop artist, a philanthropist, business person, activist.
Right.
And he was someone that children could actually walk up to and talk to. And so Nipsey, was loved tremendously, by our neighborhood, our city, and what we didn't know, across the nation.
That's right. You touch everybody, man. Now, all right. Now, if the police wanted to shut him down and kick him out of the store in that strip mall, but the property owner sold it to them, wouldn't that be a slap in the face to them? It would be a slap in the face. Now, you know they've been trying to get them out of there for a long time. And now they got it. And now by the property. So, you know, evidently, the LAPD is going to be mad. City officials. And we know it's been known how corrupt that police system is. We know how corrupt it could be. You know now.
Yeah, but just for clarity, and when you look at DavidGross's letter on Instagram he posted, and I just know from being here and talking to the chief of police and police officials, it's not the police per se, it's the city attorney. When you read the letter, it tells you the city attorney's doing this, the city attorney's doing that. The police just enforce the law. So, because I had questions to the chief and everybody else, at the end of the day, it's the city attorney who's pushing for a nuisance and abatement. The police can only enforce the laws. So we have to focus our attention on who DavidGross is focusing his attention on. And that's the city attorney.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, how would the city attorney get that information if the police is not giving it to them? So it's not like the city attorney is sitting there and just scouting out areas. It's the police that's scouting out, and certain people is sending these letters to the city attorney for the attorney to do the job. So the city attorney is not out there on the beat. So evidently they got it from law enforcement to help further get them out of there, because they can't just go up there and shoot them up, bang, 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 bang. So let's use what they have in their arm's reach.
That's why in LA, the city attorney and the LAPD, are two different agencies, but they work hand in hand. And that's why I said earlier that the city attorney and the LAPD had that whole area under investigation. But Nipsey Hussle, the individual, was never the target of the investigation, but his business partners, family members, and those close to him were. Not just a fact.
All right, now last random question: is anybody out there? Is there any other names that the hood may be whispering about that could have been involved as well, besides Eric Holder, or who could have put the battery in his back to, do what he done? And that'll be all.
For me, just going on Google and typing in Nipsey Hussle and reading everything and watching YouTube videos and everything else, you have a lot of conspiracy theories out there, ranging from he was murdered because of his ties to Dr. Sebi and this, movie he's about to make with him, to others saying that they want to steal the property. But at the end of the day, I don't deal with rumors and gossip and innuendos. I deal with truth and facts. And the facts are that Nipsey Hussle was murdered by Eric Holder, and the getaway driver, who drove him away, Ebony Berry, will be held accountable as well. And that's just my total focus is on that. I can't do anything else about anything else concerning the property or, anything else that people are talking about. I'm staying focused.
Okay. Well, Mr. NajeeAli, man, it was a pleasure, and I definitely appreciate you, returning my call. And
damn agent. Everybody knows you work with the police. Everybody knows you work with the fucking police. Agents work with the police, nigga. Agents work with the police, nigga. You calling for the police? That's some agent shit. Your bitch ass trying to seize a fucking opportunity, nigga. What you want to do? You walking up here? What you want to do? I ain't your nigga. I'm here for niggas. We not here for niggas. I'm here for niggas. I'm here for niggas, bro. I'm here for niggas. Both real though. We not here for that. You're harming them. Okay, you're harming them. You're harming them. He's working with the police. He's working with the fucking hood, man. Trust, I'm gonna show you everything on this cat working with the motherfucking police. Okay. Man.
This nigga's full of shit. Watch. I'm gonna shut this shit down.
Hi, Najee. Black Label Reviews from YouTube.
Oh, hey. Sister.
Yes, we're so grateful to know that you came out and you actually was able to get someone to open up. And we have a witness now. Is that correct?
No, that's correct. The witness contacted me, and I made the arrangement for the witness to come give his testimony to the detectives who are investigating Nipsey Hussle's murder case. We met with him yesterday at 77 Police Station, and we're hopeful that DLHughley will withdraw the immunity plea deal she never should have made, and granting the witness, who was the getaway driver, who's also Eric Holder's girlfriend.
Is it true that she's pregnant?
She's pregnant with Eric Holder's child. We know that for a fact. In fact, we know her name, we know where she stays, but because we're men, we're not going to put an unborn baby in danger.
Of course not.
But we know for a fact who she is, what her name is, where she's living at. But we want her in jail because she's just as guilty for the murder of Nipsey Hussle.
She assisted to killing.
She's Eric Holder's girlfriend and drove him away from the scene and hid him out.
That's
so why
right.
is he in jail? Had Justin Timberlake been shot by a drive-by shooter and a gang member, everybody in that car would be arrested and put under the jail.
That is so true. Well, I tell you this, no one can believe that this young lady has not been arrested.
It's incredible.
And that she's got immunity? Is that also true?
Yes, she's got the immunity. That's why she's not in jail with Eric Holder. But it's immunity granted by DLHughley, who's a do-nothing DA. She should be in jail. And the facts are, she didn't need her as a witness. We had two witnesses. Brother Kerry Lathan, who was shot with Nipsey, and another young man. Those were the witnesses who Eric Holder shot also. We had the videotape of Eric Holder running from the murder scene through the alley and getting in the car. So why was the getaway driver granted immunity? It was unnecessary, and it's a slap in the face to Nipsey's family and our community.
You know, we have another question. Why are the gates closed over there? Why we can't show Nipsey a candle?
Well, to my understanding, based on Nipsey's business partner who posted on Instagram, they are in the pre-development stages for the Nipsey Hussle Towers, and that all that property will be torn down, and something more fitting for Nipsey and our community will be there permanently to celebrate his legacy.
Well, that's wonderful. That's what we want. However, we would like to find out and ascertain what happened about the gun. Has the weapon been recovered?
I have no idea. Hopefully the detectives, investigator can find that out. But I do know Eric Holder's a coward. He's a coward. He murdered our Nipsey, our fallen hero, who everybody loved in this community, who was loved worldwide. And that's something that was taken from our neighborhood, our city, and this nation. So rest in peace, Nipsey.
Absolutely. I want to thank you for taking the time to...
Before I met Nipsey, I knew everything about his music. Real hip-hop fans have long known about him. So I think now, as people that didn't really know him go and listen to his interviews, I think everyone walks away like, wow, he was a really thoughtful, articulate, deeply intelligent individual. Any of his interviews, you know, you'd be wowed by him. So from afar, I always observe that. From the marathon forward, it's the Nipsey that everyone sees now. You hear that in the music. He's a thoughtful person about entrepreneurship or ownership or investing. That's just his body of work. And I think that's a true testament to who someone is. If it's consistent in everything they touch, you see that DNA is the same. It was there, always with him.
That's hard. Thank you, man. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. They ain't called me for the beat, but really booby trap. You know what I'm saying?
There's a pre-story that most people don't know. I had met with his team before meeting him, and I was like, hey, look, I have this concept that, you know, I have to get Nip involved with. We're gonna start a co-working concept, an incubator in the heart of South Central. We sat and they're like, this is something that Nip would rock with. They're like, look, he's just in album mode now. He's grinding, but like, we'll reconnect. And so a few months go by, and literally, it had to be a Rockets game. They were there to see Harden. You know, I'm watching the game, you know, talking to the person I'm there with. He's watching the game, talking to the person he's there with. Stuff happens in the game, you're cheering, like, you look at each other, you laugh. So by the third quarter, we kind of start talking. You know, I don't want to go outside of protocol, but I was like, I sat down with your team a few months back because I had this idea that I wanted to run by you. And so the rest of the game, I just walk him through the concept behind Vector 90. He's an entertainer, he's a rapper. He has a big schedule. So I'm like, perfect, I'm connected. I'm probably not gonna see him tomorrow in my head. The next day, he hits me up like at 9 in the morning. He's like, hey, I'm heading that way. So he comes out there and he's full LA'd out. So he has on basketball shorts, he has on t-shirt, he has on flip-flops, the socks pull weight up. So he comes in our office and there are people there for a meeting. And he steps in at first, everyone just kind of freezes and looks up. And they're kind of confused. I'm like, nah, it's Nip Hussle. And we shook hands, he was like, I'm all in, let's do it.
We're on the north side of Inglewood right now. This is Centinela and Inglewood Ave. This right here, to anybody growing up in Inglewood, you know, the serving spoon means a lot to them. They've definitely been here. And now this little corner, this little section, you know, for the kids over here, is popping. The Level Up store it's a new brand, but it's kind of like their marathon, but it's growing. That's what they want to get to. So for me, this means a lot for me, or it's meaningful to me because it's part of my complete LA story. Man, what's up, fam? How you doing, bro?
Good, I'm good, man. Just another day at it, working.
You definitely on. Actually, the store looks a lot different last time I was here.
You know, we try to. There's something unique about owning land. You know, land and structures that are kind of the foundation of communities. So we're like, the ultimate step is to acquire and develop real estate in these communities and just demonstrate that it can be done at a higher quality than you currently see.
I was always back and forth between this house and my other grandmother's house on 68th. There's so many benefits to owning and preserving assets and keeping them in your name and your family's name. She doesn't live here anymore, but she's kept it so that anybody in our family, if they ever need a place to go, they know they can come post up here. It has been a place of refuge for people in our family that have needed a place to go. They needed some help. So whenever she bought it 40 years ago, she hadn't bought it or she sold it to someone else, they wouldn't have that. That's the power of ownership. There's a permanence and a security to it. A lot of those people, they've sold the houses, cashed out, moved down south or moved somewhere cheaper, or just sold it, or they've died and the kids have sold it to have cash. And then that's the opposite of buying back the block. The block is being bought up by outsiders who see opportunity, who see that, okay, over time, this is valuable, it's gonna change.
Probably had the biggest tax overall in this country in the past 40 years in December of 2017. Included in that is this program that created the concept of opportunity zones. Opportunity zones are low-income neighborhoods, right? As defined by a set of metrics, you know, that are commonly used to define low income. The governor of each state got to select up to 25% of the low-income census tracts in their state and designate them as opportunity zones that could be the recipients of this tax incentive. What it says is people can take capital gains, so the profits you made from another investment, and you invest them in these opportunity zones. You can defer paying your taxes, start receiving deductions in the taxes you owe, and in the new investment, if you hold it for 10 years, you never pay taxes on the appreciation.
You know, I'm gonna be honest in a way most people aren't. First of all, the law is, right? People are using this law, and the first people who use it are the wealthy, well-connected people who have the money and they have the money to have people spend time thinking about it early on, and they start using it. So it's being used. People are making investments, buying things, right? So regardless of how we feel as a community, people predominantly from outside inner city communities are using this law to invest in inner city communities. And so what do you want this to look like 10 years from now? And that's the whole idea behind our opportunity, is like having skin in the game in our communities and doing something different. Like a Vector 90 is something different that you're not gonna see a lot of inner city neighborhoods. You're gonna see the liquor stores, you're gonna see the fast food places, you're gonna see the gold and the pawn shops and the check cashing places. You're not gonna see co-working communities.
When you can go back and you can check, you know, Nipsey posted before he'd drive around, he'd show like the type of retail in the community. He'd be like, we can do better, right? And that was we want better stuff. We can afford better stuff. There's just this gap between supply and demand because people on the outside who don't have a close connection to the community, they don't understand. You know what I mean? They know this neighborhood can support better things, deserves better things. Well, we got that.
One, it's making the economic investment and helping to feed people and pay people so they can take care of their families. But two, it's the symbolism of it, right? And so we're standing in a store here, and it's new and it's growing. But this is someone here doing the same thing, and we're in Inglewood, so 211 is starting to do it in Inglewood, and there's a lot of people, in neighborhoods like this that are doing it, and it is important. It is meaningful.
Right now, we live and direct on Crenshaw and Slauson at the Slauson Avenue store, my flagship store for the Marathon clothing line. This parking lot, it was our block, and we originally popped our trunk and started selling mixtapes out the trunk and really trying to pursue this music thing. The clothing store is actually an idea of my brother's. My big brother, he always saw opportunities where other people might not have, and he was like, you want to start a t-shirt store? And it evolved from there.
As soon as I started working with Nip, he was always trying to buy that plaza. I was hyped that I could partner with Nip and Sam and buy a part of something that's so prominent in this community that was a big part of what they've done in their business life. They built that mall up. So to partner with them and be part of buying it with the intention of redeveloping it, that was really meaningful to me. Like, typically people put as little money in and try to take as much money out. But obviously that's not Nip's dynamic with his community. That's not my dynamic with, this communities like it. So we wanted to create something symbolic of what we thought could be the case in inner cities throughout the country.
My younger brother was born after I left LA, and we developed our relationship from afar. But when I moved back to LA, we became really close. He worked for me. We spent a lot of time together because he was just a really cool, dynamic, charismatic kid. He liked everything I had going on, and I wanted to support him.
Higher positions that have to sell Microsoft, Apple, Pepsi, Coke. You know what I mean?
I'm talking about new office shit. Just joined the company. Shout out Big Bro. Got my own office. You feel me? Own desk shit. Feel like the man.
My older brother, was born, over in South Central. Spent his life in the 60s, and he grew up, and that's the neighborhood he's connected to. My younger brother was born and raised in Inglewood, and so he grew up an Inglewood kid. And actually, it's trippy because my older brother, he's in a gang. My younger brother's in a different gang in Inglewood, and their gangs are like mortal enemies. July 7th, 2017, my younger brother was murdered, in his neighborhood in Inglewood. Actually, over here, this is my little brother. That's Sean Mack. He had a group called Mac Rucci, and his partner in that group, obviously also from Inglewood, his name's Rucci. He's up right now. He actually just dropped an album, and it's popping, and all of Inglewood is behind him. But it's something they started together. But yeah, that's baby bro. I wish I could go back and rewind time and show my older brother something different, right? He wouldn't be in a jail now. I wish I could have grabbed my younger brother and showed him something different, given him a different opportunity. And he wouldn't be, in a grave right now. Even if it's small, if it's nominal, it's still an attempt. And that attempt has some, it has real impact, but also has symbolism, right? So I want to galvanize people, in Chicago, in Baltimore, in DC, in Atlanta, in Memphis, in Oakland, obviously in LA. We're gonna go and buy up a bunch of blocks, right? And we're gonna, if it's owned by somebody outside, we're gonna own it. And then we're gonna invest and develop it and be better stewards of it than, other people would. And so our opportunity is grabbing the people who, have the impact on their communities that Nip had on South Central, making them a part of this, so we can have skin in the game and make that direct impact through investment, but the symbolic value of all of us doing something together, that should be big.
The meaning of Nip Hussle is taking on a universal resonance and meaning now, right? People around the world get what he was. What Nip is to South Central, well, Meek is that to Philly, and there's someone that's the face of that in Atlanta. In every city you can go through, you can make a connection between the neighborhood or city and a local hero. And we were like, we can connect all of them, and we can do it together, showing the power of group economics, collective investment, getting as close to the people as possible, and that being a symbol. So it was always about a group that could transcend individuals and just be kind of a movement or idea that people could embrace.
I want to say this about Nipsey though. Let me say this about Nipsey. Okay, man. Go ahead. Speaking honestly, you know what I mean? I really didn't know nothing about him. I hear everybody talk about him on the yard just before he got, was assassinated, right? But I hear all the different young cats talk about, they banging Nipsey, and that's cool. Even some of my little homies. His shit was out there, right? Good shit. But I just never listened to him. So I just let him do his thing. I knew he was an Eritrean. You know what I mean? I knew a little bit, but I know who his brother is, black. I know who he is, right? But so anyway, so when he got hit, my first instinct was, damn, man, I'm damn. I hope the homies got it. It was just that much hate still in me, right? And I never even knew this dude. Never even functioned with him. I never heard his name on my hood or nothing. I ain't been involved in that shit in 30 years. But that's how deep the sickness is. First thing I thought was that I hope the homies got his ass. Because first thing I thought was that he was supplying his hood with guns and shit to get my homies. That's that same critical ass hate that was still in me that I thought I had revolutionized away. So then I started listening to the radio more for the next 3 days. I started hearing about all the magnificent shit that dude was doing. I started hearing about all the grassroots shit that I should have been doing that he's doing. That every G he's outshining the G's. This motherfucker is doing it. And immediately my thought was, I sure hope the homies ain't killed this dude. It took 3 days, man. But from that point I've been working on myself. I give Nipsey's props, man. Nipsey's doing what everybody should be doing. I mean, I don't know to get down on the whole thing about the dude. Shout out, man. The marathon continues with me, man.
So you listen to his music now?
No, I still ain't listen to it. But when I do, I need to be in a South Central state of mind. Real talk, because that's where I'm gonna I'm gonna start there. Because I seen him on the ciphers and all that on BET. I watched him come all the way through there. I remember Jay-Z bought a gang of shit. I was like, that's the same time Jay-Z hollering my name in raps.
Hey, Kevin, I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah.
And
Kev Mack, shout out to Kev Mack.
I like it, Desmond. It takes a brave soldier. It takes a brave soldier to come on over to the road. You know how the conspiracy are. The fraud department, we've been running rampant, and it's a lot of unanswered questions out there. It's a lot of conspiracy. It's a lot of investigative shit out there. The man, you already know, you've been pretty much coined the new shitty, the new suspicious character. A lot of people don't know who you are. Could you tell the people who you are, sir?
So I'm DaymondJohnson, and I'm a neighborhood council member in South Central. Business owner, and lived here forever, all my life.
My man, and from what I read in the LA Times and stuff like that, you've been fighting with a lot of corporations and AEG about sky rises, the same situation that seems to happen with Nipsey Hussle. And hell, you heard your name across these airwaves and you decided to come on in. Why?
Well, first of all, one, I live in the community and I had a strong tie to our community. And to hear something of this nature, I need to clear my name.
So you came into the road to clear your name. That's right. Well, I'm all for it. I'm all for anything you want to say to the people before you start clearing up some of the mishaps that the internet, the conspiracy world, us, them, Big Kev, Little Kev may have gotten wrong or right. A lot of people just want to know who you were and what you were doing down there so early. How did you get the call that Nipsey Hussle had been assassinated, sir?
So here's the first thing, and I keep hearing all these things that it was 9 o'clock. That's not true. It was a little bit after 1 when everyone started gathering there.
So it was a little bit after 1 when everybody started gathering there.
Yes.
Do you know what time the alleged assassination happened?
No, I have no idea when that happened. So I can run down my Sunday morning.
Run down your Sunday morning for us, and then we'll get some questions going. See if the people, find what you're saying credible, not credible. We kind of it's a live discussion forum, so lots of people comment, and we'll try to pull some questions out of the bunch. Go ahead, brother.
Great. Sunday morning, I get a call from a friend of mine who's working at his stage on 49th and Fan to come give him a hand. So I went over to the church, gave him a hand. The bishop of the church got hungry. He gave me some change to go to Doolin's on Crenshaw and get lunch. So I run over to Doolin's, stand in line for about 45 minutes. The food gets ready, and I say, okay, I need some gas. So I drive to Slauson and Western.
Go ahead.
To the Shell gas station there, and I put gas in my car.
Any inclination? Can we ask who? Can we ask who called you?
Friend Leonard.
Okay.
So he called.
I got you.
He called and he so at any rate, I'm coming out of the Shell gas station. All of a sudden, paramedics are coming out from everywhere.
Okay.
So I had to stop, and I couldn't actually go out onto Crenshaw. The train going down Crenshaw, so you have to only make a right.
Okay.
So something tells me to come around the block, so I go around the block, and I pull back on the side. The paramedics have the street block where you can't come back east on Slauson.
Okay.
So I park across the street, and then I'm walking over, but by that, the police are there, and they're starting to rope off the area.
And that's about one something.
And so I still don't know what's happening. So then a lady comes out, and she's yelling and screaming, oh, they shot Nipsey, oh, Nipsey shot. And so I'm like, what? Nipsey shot? The folks started, the scene got packed quick.
Right. Real fast.
So it's like word went out, of course, because it's Nipsey Hussle. Yeah. And so I'm standing there, and all these different individual private media started showing up, and all the folks start showing up. And so the guy asked me if I wanted to be interviewed, and I said yeah. And so you guys all seen the interview, or should see the interview.
Mm-hmm.
So at any rate, the food never gets back to the church. So the pastor never got his food right then and there, but it was still in the car.
Okay. So as far as go ahead. You got the flow, brother. Just finish on with your story. You good?
So folks start showing up and trying to find out what's happening. I get on several news media outlets and basically explain what Nipsey meant to our community.
Okay.
And knowing that whatever was going on and whoever was involved, this was going to create some sort of friction in our community.
So you wasn't at the time. You wasn't aware about what was going, what actually, all of the details of what's going on. You really didn't know. You just spoke up on what type of effect this was going to have on the community.
Yeah, and I asked for interventionists to come to the scene. I asked for anybody who could help the community.
What type of
interventionist?
What type of interventionist?
So we have gang interventionists from all over. There's a program called the GRID, the GRYD program, and in South Central they're the gang intervention specialists.
So they got down there.
No one knew what had happened.
Okay.
No one,
what about this weed team? Did you hear about them?
I've only got privy to the weed team from watching your show.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure if you knew anything about the alleged weed team that's out there. Something like that. So you don't know nothing about that We team. Riza Islam, Malcolm Flex TV. He said he gave you a call.
I know of those gentlemen. I know of them, but I don't know. I didn't know anything about a We team.
Okay. I got you. Go ahead. You good, man. I just, when you said it, I was just, okay, I was just wondering if this was the street teams that's out there, you know, the interventionalists, because they said they was out there hired by the mayor, but that's further down the show. Go ahead.
Well, actually, the Nation was actually the first folks on once I got there, the first folks who were showing up.
The Nation of Islam?
No interventionists had gotten there yet, but a few brothers from the Nation had showed up. Right. And a couple people from the mayor's crisis response team started showing up.
Wow, okay. That's cool. Are you a part of any of those groups like that? You're not a part of that shit like that?
Not part of any of that. Again, I'm just my tie within the city is I'm a neighborhood councilman. So again, our job is to be the voice between the people and City Hall.
And you just happened to get the call to get and to end up at that location, and then didn't know who it was. And once you found out who it was, you know.
Well, actually, again, I didn't get a call to show up there. I didn't get a call to show up there. I happened to coincidentally be at the gas station when paramedics started showing up from everywhere.
Did you see Nipsey Hussle, his actual body? Did you see it?
That was weird to me. You know, for a crime scene, what was weird for me is I didn't see blood. I didn't see any signs. There was people walking all through the crime scene. And I'm like, how is this a crime scene if you have people walking through this evidence?
Are you were walking through the crime scene as well, correct?
No, I was actually on the other side of the gate where the Shell gas station separates from the property there.
Okay. And they have a video of you, or some picture of you behind talking to some officers behind the yellow tape. You know what I'm saying? Behind the yellow tape, closer to the, like, I don't know if that's the barber shop over there or something like that, but, you know.
No, I was never that close under the scene. Those
okay, maybe it's just a picture shot. Maybe it's just a shot. Maybe it's just...
pictures that you're speaking of were, they were on the other side of the tape, but it was directly in front of the gas station on the Slauson side.
Okay. Well, you got it. You there. I'm not.
And what happened there was a LAPD officer who was upset at a homeless gentleman who went under the rope, under the yellow tape, and he started using racial slurs, and the community started to get riled up at his officer. At this point, I pulled out my city neighborhood council ID. And I asked to speak to the commander in charge.
Okay.
And they allowed me to come under the tape right there. They went and got the commander, and I asked the commander to remove this officer from the scene because he was inciting the community.
It was a lot. It was a lot. Did you notice any more incitements out there? Did you notice any more incitements towards the community out there since you noticed that the commander or this officer was using propaganda? Do you know who that officer was?
No, but again, I mean, I had someone videotaping on live, but Facebook doesn't allow you to keep your live.
All right. You don't recognize that officer anywhere. You know the police. I don't know these people. You ain't never noticed the officer. Did he get removed from the situation?
He was removed from the scene. Yeah, the commander removed him completely from the whole scene.
Okay. So how did you end up with the lady who had the apron on? With the sister with the big breasts, as mom called it? Who was crying at the scene? Yeah, there's a video of you guys hugging and stuff like that, very close to each other. The internet is saying. It's a lot of shit being said about that picture.
So what happened was after I finished being interviewed by the media, I left and I was on the phone calling some other folks and letting them know what had happened. And that young lady was being interviewed, and I was not far, maybe 100, 200 feet from her, coming through the crowd. So after her interview, she was breaking down. After she got off the camera, she was breaking down. And I went over and I hugged her and I consoled her.
You guys didn't exchange anything, did you? You don't know her from anywhere, do you?
No, I don't know her. I have seen her in the community, but I don't know her.
Okay. So you have seen her in the community. Did you guys exchange anything? Because you are the guy with the black hoodie on, right? You are that guy. A lot of people were saying it would look. I'm
the guy with the black hoodie on, which is the black hoodie, and the back of the hoodie is black. But if you look closely to the front of the hoodie, it's a charcoal gray in the front of the hoodie.
Right. It's a charcoal gray. Yeah, at the top layer of the chest area. Correct. So you don't know anybody there. I mean, you've seen her in the neighborhood a few times, but you don't know her at all.
No, not at all. I've seen her, and that's about it. I don't know her name. I don't know anything about her.
Did you realize?
What I do know is what I heard her say on that tape.
That's where I was going next. I was like, okay, well, did you hear what she actually said? And I quote. I'm going to quote. There's no need to. Now she said, I did this for us, Armias, and it was kind of like what they call a Freudian slip or some sort, some type of slip up the internet.
Well, she said not us. She said I did it for you.
I did this for you. Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, I did this for you, Armias, and I said what? So, what do you think about that statement? Is that a little bit weird? I mean, we're going to get back to the blood, the detective work at the scene, and anything else you found suspicious. But did it seem like she was weird that she would say something like that? Or the police should investigate that or something like that, Des?
Again, I didn't notice what she had said until after I had watched your show.
Right.
And so, of course, after seeing that and hearing what she said, I found that to be very suspicious and weird.
Yeah, I've heard self-admitting like that only on TV and detective shows and arson shows.
You did what for him?
Yes, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Let me see. I think. Yeah, I mean, other than your story of being there. I mean. You don't know any. What about the guy with the Laker outfit that was standing next to you guys? I mean, you guys are pretty much formed there like a response team or something like that. You guys don't know each other. You didn't know this dude in a Laker outfit because he himself looks suspicious.
I don't even know who the guy in the Laker outfit. In fact, I did say 2 words to him. I said Laker Nation because I saw that he stood out more than anyone there.
Yeah, he stood out. Laker Nation. He really stood out. Anything else you see suspicious around there concerning how, not, the crime scene, body gone, shit weird at the scene, no blood, I get it. As far as the crowd that was around you, did you notice anything weird about them?
One thing I did notice that was pretty weird was there was the guy who's known, I can't remember his name, but he's, I guess he was Nipsey's manager.
SteveLobel.
Yeah, he was there, and I'm like, oh wow, the big wigs are coming out today.
Yeah, the big boys.
Yeah, and then there was a few strange folks who were recording, and they weren't recording like regular people with their phones. Who were like recording one area. These folks were recording the whole scene, like. Normally, when you're recording, something like that happens, you're focused on a specific area.
Yeah.
But these people were taking it as if they were watching the whole crowd and not a specific situation or incident or area.
Do you think anything greater is at play here other than just a guy named, what's his name? I don't want to call him by the street name. I like to call him by his name, but well, shitty cuz. What do you think about that? Do you think there's anything else at play here when it comes to the assassination?
For one, I definitely think there's something weird. There was something weird involved in this whole situation. Just living in the community, there's definitely something weird part of this situation.
Like?
And what I was looking at, like, for instance, they've only wanted to use the tape from the Shell station. And that's the tape they went all over the world using.
Right.
And I was actually standing in the parking lot of the gas station when the two detectives went by and they went inside the gas station to get the tape. And so I'm asking, like, we have businesses right there on each corner. Why is that the only video that was relevant to this case?
Well, they said his story footage was going into a cloud. So if it was just going into a cloud, that I'm sure the feds, you know how they work. I mean, the detectives, I don't know how they work. I don't know. I mean, in the conspiracy world, who cares about the Shell tape because it's edited in different layers and stuff like that. I mean, the internet's been going crazy surrounding that tape, and then you have people of our color in the community that's not supposed to be there.
Question why they didn't use any footage from the burger stand through the alley, and the guy ran through the alley. They didn't use any footage there. Right across the street, you have the check cashing and the Louisiana Chicken, but there was none of their footage used.
You're right about that. A lot of footage wasn't. I mean, across the street and something like that. What do you?
Had officers on routes across the street.
What, supposed to check in across the street?
So they were on the roof across the street.
Wait, what were officers doing on the roof across the street?
Exactly. But it appeared that they were recording.
How you know that?
They were as you're standing there, everyone is focused on the scene. But if you look across the street, it's very noticeable. There was officers on the roof across the street.
Across the street at the Knicks?
Check cashing and the Louisiana share.
Really? That's interesting.
Officers on the roof there. They put cell phone blockers on because no one could get signals in or out.
Yeah, they put the cell phone. That's why people was having problems with the static cell phone blockage. That was coming. I should have guessed.
And we know, as a neighborhood council person, I know that they try to control the scene and what goes in and out by turning off blockers.
It's crazy because Rizza Islam was live. He was being interrupted a lot, but his live feeds were still coming. You're right about that.
There were several times I was going live, and there were several times I was knocked off.
So officers across the street. Rizza Islam said this was a military-style precision take assassination by military-trained individuals. What do you think about that?
I guess that's his outtake on it, and I think he's trying to put that together because, maybe 2 or 3 days before that, there was a lot of military air traffic flying over that area.
Like?
No, you saw military helicopters and military planes seemed like they were doing some sort of training 2 or 3 days before that happened. So I guess whatever he mentioned, conspiracy theory connection would be with that.
Well, he started at the scene saying he was there. Rizza Islam said he was there. What do you think about that? He said he was, Malcolm Flex said he was there. They were there during the situation, and they were hired by Garcetti. But we, talked to Malcolm, and Malcolm, oh my God, I mean, Jesus. He said a lot.
Well, I can tell you, like I said, I know of those two brothers, and I did not see those brothers at the scene. Now, I've seen some other brothers from the nation there.
So you were there when as it built up. You didn't see Rizza Islam?
I wasn't there when the actual incident occurred.
Ah, interesting. I figured that because I figured y'all would have seen each other, but in your videos, I don't see them. In their videos, I don't think I saw you. I didn't look for you, but...
Oh, wait, the next suspicious, I just thought about it, was some guy who was in, like, all black with the utility pants.
That's right. What about them?
Just similar to the ones that, when I was in the Marine Corps, we would wear utility pants, but they would be camouflaged.
Okay.
He was a weird brother. He was a very weird brother, and he had a camera on his shirt. But you couldn't really notice the camera because the camera was black as well, and it blended in with his attire.
What about him? Was he short, tall? What about him?
No, he was a tall brother, about a caramel complexion.
He had a hat on?
He had a black hat. His whole attire was black. Black boots.
I'm 6'2.5", 6'3". He was a bit taller than that. I mean, what? 6'4"?
Yeah, I'm 6'3.5", so he had to be about 6'4", a little taller.
Copy that. He had he used to say he was wearing black, huh? With cargo, with boots.
Yeah.
No. Interesting. Yeah. Incredible. That's interesting. This is interesting. And what do you know about this? You're a councilman. I'm a resident. Grew up Hyde Park in Crenshaw, 10th Avenue, Dime Block. Hyde Park Elementary School.
Dime Block.
Yes, sir. 6419. Blessings.
Yeah, I'm 6'1", 2'5", so I'm on the dime.
Yeah, so you understand why I feel connected to this plight that we have here in America. You understand, and from my point of view, I think as men we got to come to an understanding. But as far as this weed team and this weed team, have you seen us do a breakdown on this? Are you familiar with who owns the weed team and who was on the scene of the crime that day? Man, we got some serious info for a nice little councilman like yourself. We got some cold info. I'm the best journalist, the black street journalist in the planet.
What I have heard about the weed team, I don't know anything particularly, but what I have heard is that there are members of the nation who make up a security team that contracts out to do events and protect folks in the city. During Nipsey's funeral, as you know, the nation was the head security for the funeral.
Okay, so as security, are they operating as the weed team for 501(c)(3) protection violations and things like that? Are we shifting that over to a private? But most of the majority, I mean, if it's owned by the weed team and they're the security force and they're the NOI, then wouldn't it mean the NOI were there during the assassination of Nipsey Hussle? The weed team? Is that fair to say?
It could be a possibility. I mean, I can't throw any direct stones because I don't know.
Well, I'm just
but the evidence would lead to that.
Interesting. Yeah, well, if Rizza Islam and Malcolm Flex is weed team and they're both NOI, I mean, they're saying they were there. Shouldn't somebody be asking them to do something?
Definitely someone should be asking them something. But again, I never saw them brothers on the scene at all.
No.
Unless they were there when the incident happened, I don't know.
But you saw the tall dude with the baseball daddy's cap, with the black jacket, with the black cargo boots, and a
Yeah, I definitely saw that. But
and what was he doing out there? Was he doing riling up the truth? Was he live streaming? What was this guy doing out there from your perspective? Because everything is perspective here.
He was pacing around the scene, and it seemed like his whole goal was to record. Because again, I told you I witnessed a camera on this brother.
Mm.
So it seemed like he was just getting footage with his camera.
Just walking around filming things. Interesting. What about? Let me ask you another question. Do you know of a young Caribbean, older mid lady, Caribbean lady, brown skin, very disappointed and distraught at the scene of the crime, at the same time as the young lady you gave a hug to, and she was there looking for a man in a black hoodie she saw had something to do with the crime. And when she was looking for him, guess who popped around the corner? And she was hiding and ducking and dodging and weaving, and where she would look, he would run. Guess who we saw running around from this lady?
How'd that be?
You. What you doing running around from this Caribbean lady who was looking for you?
I wasn't running from anyone. If you notice, if they were watching, any cameras caught me, they would see that I was on my phone.
Oh, you was on your phone?
And so,
okay.
And I'm on my phone trying to get a signal because they're blocking all the signals coming through. So I'm moving around trying to get the best signal possible to continue my live video. And when I finally get a connection, I start walking back towards where the young lady was being interviewed.
Mm. You know what that looked like on camera? It looked like you were running around. She was like, that nigga go, that black on I just saw. And that's what it looked like from the internet perspective. Where that nigga where that nigga go? The internet asking questions. Oh man, it looked like she went that way, you went that way. She like, where you went? Where you went? You went around that way, you came back, ducking down. It looked like the you know, those people you was around, we don't identify it as the we team. So you running around the we team, ducking and dodging, and she backing back around. And she said, where is this nigga? Until she walked off, like she'll see you when she get home. That's what caught our attention and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I can understand it, but that's why I'm here to clarify anything on that.
You wasn't running around, you was looking for can you hear me now? That's my dog, nigga. That's my dog. I'm trying to get a fucking signals. Shit, Lord, I love this show. Lord, have mercy. Lord, well, shit, I can't say none of that. My man trying to get a signal. He wasn't right about. Hopefully she don't call in. And I'm looking for his ass, girl. I'm looking for his goddamn ass. And then,
well, I hope she does. So we can see who she was looking for.
Yeah, that's just crazy, man. So, yeah, what's up with Garcetti? You know, Garcetti part of this We Team too. You got a affiliation with Garcetti too, man. You could put part of that crisis response team we don't know about that you happen to show up at Shell, man, you know. Talk to us, man. What's up with your boy Garcetti?
So the mayor's crisis response team was set up. This is the first crisis response team by any mayor in L.A.
The first one?
To our understanding as the neighborhood council folks is that these are community members who have to go through some sort of background check to get on the crisis response team. And then their job is to show up to incidents in our community and to work with those family members or friends who are grieving over. For instance, they show up to gang-related shootings. They show up to deaths. But that's about
what are they? Are they?
Don't work anywhere with the crisis response team.
Well, you know the name of this crisis response team? It's just a CRT. Just crisis response. What's the name of them? Because I'm trying to see here, if the mayor of LA has a private security firm that's hidden as a private response team, as in turn he has protecting him, he has a private and a state approved, like, you know, the sheriffs protect him, don't the police protect him? Taxpayer money protect him, right? I mean, he shouldn't have a weed team or a team protecting him. Ain't that some sort of violationism? Did we lose him? Desmond, are you there?
And my face hit.
Oh shit! I thought he died out. Where he at, G? I'm about to call him back. Where we at? I had a few more questions. For him. He'll call back. My bad, Desmond. He's doing a good job at staying true to the game, and until Puerto Rican cousins calling you. Then what the?
We're getting too deep on them, and they shut us down.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. They don't grab Desmond and ran out. But look, couple more questions, man, and you go on about your way, Desmond. We'll let you on out of here, man. Get a cup of coffee or something. This bad.
I do want some of your callers to ask some questions.
Oh, I like that. Hey, the badge that you had on, at the point in time, you didn't have a badge on. You did have one. It looked like the same badge. Another young lady, as part of that nurses group team over there, what I call the WE team, has the same sort of badge. Were these the same types of badge? What color was the badge you had? Did it have your face on? What is that thing that you had clipped on you? What is that?
The badge that I had on has my face on it, and it's a neighborhood council badge that we wear to get into city facilities and locations.
Okay, so those little blue passes, right?
No, it's white. It has the city logo on it.
Okay.
Our picture, our name, and what department we're affiliated with.
Okay, well, you know, and you didn't know the dude with the Laker outfit, because that dude right there, suspicious as hell. And you right there with him. What's funny is you next to, hugged up, in the crowd with, vibing with, next to the WE team. All of them.
Again, this is the first I've heard about the WE team from watching your videos.
So you telling me,
hell of a
sir,
coincidence.
you at the scene with a bunch of crisis actor WE team that look like the conspirators who committed the crime to the internet now. You do know that, right, Councilman?
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I watch your videos, you were right on. You're on target based on what people can see.
I'm saying, whoa, and when people saw you, they said, uh-oh. And, you know, they say you kind of look like Psycho Mike from the Reggie Wright incident. Do you know any relation to him?
No, I don't have any idea.
Hey, man, it's the internet. It's the internet now. All right. You know, people would just, you know, ask them questions, you know. But, yeah, if anything, let me see. Somebody prepped dude pretty good. You're crazy. They said they prepped you real well. Well, we get to it. I mean,
there's no prepping.
There's no prepping. He said he's out here.
There's no prepping. Look, if you guys like, and if Kev would allow, I'll be on video, on camera, so you guys can see me. There's no prep.
So he just happened to be there. It was kind of like a spontaneous thing. Once he found out, he said he knew it was going to happen. He said he gave old girl a hug. You didn't pass her or take from her anything, right?
Took nothing from her.
Because those girls right there.
Because she appeared to be breaking down more than anybody.
Yeah, that girl right there.
Nipsey Hussle's uncle was there. And he was saying how this is a setup, and Nipsey should have stayed independent, and ever since he signed some deal with somebody, now all this stuff has happened.
Yep, with Jay-Z and Rock Nation, we on them too. And we not on the local level. I have a fraud department camped out in 4 of the major black cities across America that California, that's Los Angeles, New York, Texas, and we're looking for a renovation up there up north. You know what I'm saying? Minnesota, somewhere close to the operation.
Now let's talk. If you'd like, let's talk a little bit about the property of Nipsey.
Let's talk about the properties because you know what? Since we're talking about it, that's back on the weed team now. Are you familiar with Charlesetta Brown?
I am now that I watched your video.
Okay, now her daughter is you know who, right?
I found that out after I watched your video.
Okay, now have at it. Have at it. What do you think about all this shit?
And I said to myself, oh shit, that does look bad.
That look real bad. Because LA.
But what I can tell you all is that the LAPD had filed a nuisance, what we call a nuisance abatement on that property. And what they were citing was that it was gang members who were allowed to hang there, and there was fights, and they were scaring off community members. So that was their reason for placing it in a nuisance abatement status. When you look a little deeper, what happens with nuisance abatement? If nuisance abatement is granted as nuisance abatement, that allows the city to obtain the property.
Just to take over the property?
Yeah. What happens is they give the property owner a specific amount of conditions. That they have to comply with those conditions, or they're fined. And then they can go to court and they can actually take a property that poses a danger to the community.
Was he actually an owner of that property pre-signing a deal? Was he the actual owner of that property? I mean, he was feeling the heat. I mean, he was getting those letters, so obviously he was. I mean, I know from out here, living out here in Los Angeles.
To my understanding, his business partner was the one handling all of those things.
Mr. Gross,
Mr. Gross. The Gross.
Mr. Gross, yeah. We quite familiar with Gross. Gross knows us, we know Gross.
One thing we did do was we were fighting to get them to take the city to take that gate down.
They don't want to take it down.
Separate the community from the property.
Now, do you know what's underground there on Slauson? Are you familiar? You know, Ladera.
Well, I know.
Okay, go ahead. You know, I know the MTA, but I'm saying maybe.
That's the only thing.
That's the only thing you know of. I know there's some. Los Angeles been heavy in oil in that part of town, dating back the 70s. Still to this day, they still find pockets of oil all over Los Angeles. You know, they doing that work down there. Just one of those things you got to question. I know there's a huge pipeline down there that's been down there since, 56? I'm getting close there, but I'm trying to find pockets of oil and stuff like that because, once you're digging down there, you start realizing different parts of the game and, even about AEG building these sky rises and stuff like that. Are you even for that? That's kind of two questions, but thinking back on what you were saying.
Am I for sky rises? I'm for any development that's going to benefit our community. And AEG sky rise was 100% tax subsidized. Now, this is a $1 billion corporation who we should have to pay for because they're a $1 billion corporation all over the world.
And they wanted to do this.
I seriously doubted that the project that Nipsey was trying to do was going to have to be paid for by the community.
Well, no, it wouldn't have been paid for by the community because Donald Trump and the opportunity zones. I mean, that fits one of the biggest opportunity zones in California. It's right here, Slauson and Crenshaw, gateway to whatever stadiums are being built everywhere. So we're quite familiar with that, and I think that's a huge. You got these major companies who couldn't get the job done 10, 15 years ago. Big time corporations, they come around and this goddamn gangster can get it done because of a goddamn red line being lifted off of the ghetto, and you got a businessman, which these brothers would not want, a black gangbanger, don't grew into something. You talking about some Beverly Hillbilly shit, and then to alone find out that there's some oil up on him, you got another problem.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. I mean, if there's some oil down there, that's enough bread for the fucking community to eat. And it seems like Beverly Hills want to move to the hood. I mean, they got this. Garcetti got this
what
thing.
It seems like is what it seems like is that they were scared that if Nipsey Hussle was to pull this off, that he would start teaching other folks and other black folks how they could do the same thing.
Right, being in business, taking advantage. Well, we talked a lot here. We're looking to just get our first grant, dealing in this world just to see how this works as a business, as ourselves, is trying to see how these, because I'm in the hood too. And if my business is in the hood, then I'm tax exempt when as far as that go. And let's see how this thing really works. And that's what motto he said, just get involved, whether you win or you lose, get involved so you'll know. Because, you know, even you know this, you don't really lose, you learn something all the time, you know what I'm saying? So you're right about that, you know, with Nipsey, well, you know, he's seen it. They don't want that. And he didn't have to teach brothers because it's already, you talking long democratic hold on the black community. And then now we're dealing politics. Now we're dealing politics. I'm a conservative. I'm a conservative that was born on 10th Ave in Hyde Park. You believe that shit? And motherfucker, and these people out here, they probably, you a Republican. I'm a conservative first. I'm a conservative progressive. Goddamn. That's right. I'm a conservative first. I'm American. So I'm about conservability to get it. I'm an entrepreneur too. I'm always thinking numbers and boom, 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 boom. I was never to sit at no county building to get 212 nothing. You know what I'm saying, G? You know what I'm saying?
At the minimum.
Yeah, you see how I named to the damn dollar? You want me to put 50 cents, 57 cents on that motherfucker? Look, we're not here for that. We here to take advantage of these red, like you say, AEG, right? AEG wanted to do what? Build it. They wanted to do what in the hood? Build a sky rise and shit, right?
Build a sky rise.
All right, now check this out. Now check this out, Desmond. Me and you hollering. Like, if now they can do so, and through Rock Nation, which ain't nothing but Live Nation, AEG, same folk. Now they talking about building a sky rise right in the same place. That's what I'm saying, Desmond.
Yeah.
Come on, Desmond. I'm on them, Desmond. They talking about that to me.
You're right on their tail.
I know. They gonna build that. It's the same people because they know they in the middle of what. Now when we talking DavidGross, we talking DJ Khaled. They go Vector 90. He gave that to him. You feel me, Desmond? He gave it to him. Nipsey sold it. They gave it to him.
And one of the things too is so that everyone is aware of. The city has what's called the early notification system, right? And if the community goes on to the city's website, they can sign up for the early notification system. Now, what this system does is, if you're into the building property stuff, you want to make sure that you're following the planning commission and the zoning commission. Those are two very powerful commissions. Those are the people who say you can start a development or you can't. So, for instance, with the neighborhood councils, developers are required to come to the neighborhood council and seek our support before they can get any permit to start construction, a conditional use permit, or any of those things.
Okay, so everything got to go through there.
If the neighborhood councils support the development, then we write a letter, we say we support the development. If we don't support the development, we go ahead and we say we don't support the development. Now, here's what happens, though. You get folks who doesn't care which way we support or not, and they're still going to approve someone's project. But it is our job to say what the community wanted us to put there.
Hmm.
So these guys are in these seats and they're not following the city charter, which requires him to go off of what neighborhood councils and allow neighborhood councils to weigh in as to what we want in our districts.
All right, well.
I say we, I'm speaking of the community.
Right. So, do you have a hint of AEG, the same things you were battling, what, 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago? Are these the same individuals? Do you think that's another lane for? I mean, you got Rock Nation, you got a property that you can now take advantage of these tax exempt things, build a fucking entertainment tower right smack in the middle of everything. I mean, it creates jobs and stuff like that. But jeez, talk about real estate.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much area for backroom deals when you're talking about this. So again,
Right.
you got the zoning commissions and the planning commission, and they're the ones who do the final say. And who knows who's getting kickbacks from major corporations and companies?
Well, I'm really concerned. You know, when we're dealing in that, but we can only deal at this level at this time. It is conspiracy hour, and we gonna open up these phone lines and see if we can get some callers to call in and ask you a question, something that I may have missed, something you was welcome to it. I was trying to let you go, but if anybody got a question out there,
No, I'm not going until people have answered their question.
Jeez, my man. Lord, yeah. So if anybody out there want to give me a call, 424-209-9506. Terriana, you want to start it off? Riri? Puerto Rican Cub, one of the familiars call it, and you guys are always good at what y'all do. I'm super chilling. Matter of fact, yeah, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Not too many. I mean, Brizza Islam came over a couple times. I really appreciate that. Well, it don't look like I'm getting no calls, man. It look like people wanted to interrupt it, but I ain't getting no call. People say you cleared it. So, shit, great job on this perspective. I can get to another live stream, another conspiracy, and keep this assassination. Hey, man, are you with the Justice for Nip movement, man? Are you looking for justice for Nipsey Hussle as well? Well, I guess he's gone.